What a dickhead. Yo, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Danny AFC TV. As far as starting to go, that wasn't the best. Shout out to all the real ones. First of all, guys, please be in a like on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. If anyone had seen my Twitter activity yesterday, you would have seen it was absolutely unbelievable. People have actually got time in their lives to get involved in people's business and really have try and have their own say on another person's life. Like unbelievable on Twitter. Shouts out to Hazard. Almost just made me make a disastrous mistake on sending out the stream literally worldwide on Twitter. Like, excuse me for rattling around people. Yeah, but shouts out to Hazard on that one. I really almost fucked up there. But I do believe Hazard will be coming on the show. It's totally like we never do schedule plan anything pre-arranged, but this one here will be a freestyle of freestyles because I have no idea what he even wants to talk about. And there he is. There has almost just messed myself up. Let me put the stream out there now. Oh, good for him. All right, so Hazard, I'm sure will be in the place soon. Lee Akers, what's going on? The Mudrak talk, guys. I'm not going to start putting that down as exclusives, but if you do a couple of 1+1s, reading on what the boys are saying on the group, reading what I've seen on social media today, reading a couple of things that I've been pointed towards from a couple of reliable sources. Let's say it isn't rocket science. Arsenal are still the major players. Like even Hazard said, Mudrak would look like an idiot to now go back on everything he said about Arsenal, then want to go Chelsea. But there is a time scale on this. Basically, it's being put out there, true or false, but I reckon it's true, that Shakhtar and Chelsea have set up a meeting for sometime early next week. Is it Monday or Tuesday? Like how I said to Hazard earlier that Joao Felix was a smokescreen for the Mykhailo Mudrak deal to try and hurry up and go through, and agents make up things, you know what I mean, willy-nilly to try and help their own agendas and their own whatevers go along smoothly. Anyway, Chelsea have registered their interest. The guy obviously has sort of said to his club, like, I still want to go Arsenal. But if a deal is undoable with Arsenal, then obviously, yeah, they're going to plan a meeting with Chelsea and then thrash out a deal for live cash. Someone else has told me right before this stream, Arsenal are exactly £18 million away. So, for example, if Arsenal bid 50, they actually want 68. Like, even people in my group today are saying, oh, I wouldn't pay 80, 90 million pounds for this guy. I don't think even Shakhtar want 80 million, 90 pounds. I think with anything in life, whether it's like Nicola Pepe or whatever you want to say, everything's got a premium. If you put hard cash down on the table, like me and Lee Akers were saying on the groups also, if you put hard cash money down on the table, I reckon this is a £60 million deal. Maybe 62, 63. Cash up front, no bullshit. No add-ons, no nothing. However, if you want to get the guy on the finance, like it's tick out here, do you know what I mean? You want to get him on finance and pay in add-ons, etc., and then appearance-based appearance-based whatever bollocks, there's now going to be a premium. And yes, if it's going to cost maybe 60, 62 in one gulp, maybe it's going to cost as much as 72, 80 if you're doing it over 4 or 5 seasons. This kind of makes sense for me. So, again, because that was something that Juma said in the group, like, oh, I wouldn't pay 80 million and blah, blah, blah. Well, neither would I. So Arsenal really should be ballsy and just put the cash on the table for the guy and not worry about trying to do finance. Do you know what I mean? Like we've done with Pepe. You either full-heartedly, full-bloodedly want this guy. Do you know what I mean? It does remind me of the Zaha Pepe situation. Palace would have easily have took 50, 60 million pound cash. Even though they wanted 70, they would have took 50, 60 in cash for Zaha. We decided to get Pepe on finance for 72 mil. And could we do something similar here? Do you know what I mean? Go and get a guy that we don't really want because we won't put the 60, 62, 63 million that Shakhtar actually want on the table. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what Shakhtar want. They want their money. They want it up front. If Arsenal want to give them 30, 40 million pound up front, well, of course, they want a huge premium on that. So as I said, I'm not going to get into it. There's no major news to report here. No false, no Liga. A couple of Liga. I'm going to hot Liga up in a minute straight as well. Actually, I'll wait till Hazard comes on for that. We'll call it the Lee Bummer show. But shouts out to all the real ones. UE's in the building, yes. But this is actually as black and white as me, UE, and all the real ones probably do know it. This is Arsenal haggling. No matter if Hazard and UE want to say, oh, but as a businessman, you got to do it this way. As a businessman, you got to do it that way. A businessman will also have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. I honestly believe there is no plan B, there is no plan C. There's one player Arsenal want, and it is Mykhailo Mudryk. So again, Arsenal have to kind of be ballsy and get it done. And it is similar to the Zaha Pepe situation. We could have got Zaha for 50, 60 million cash, but we got Pepe on tick. Now, don't let lightning strike twice like Mykhailo Mudryk. Do you know what I mean? Or a Rafinha deal. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea can't get everyone in the world. They've got Badiashile, Benoit Badiashile, whatever his name is, 30, 40 million centre-back, French talent. They've also got Santos from Brazil, £12.5 million. They're pretty close to completing the Enzo Fernandez deal. Like, it will happen. But not even Chelsea have been held to that kind of ransom of £112 million. Do you know what I mean? From what I hear is on that, Chelsea are willing to pay about £112 million, but then they'll do the Arsenal tactic. They'll spread it out over 5 years. They're willing to do a deal closer to 70, 80 million euro cash money up front. Do you know what I mean? And then straight after that, Mykhailo Mudryk is an option. But again, Chelsea are way too smart for this sort of story to be coming out. Do you know what I mean? Which makes me do wonder about this Chelsea interest, even though Sky Sports News have registered it. Chelsea do their business fast. If they really want a player, they get the job done within 48 hours. That's what the Lee Akers and the UEs of the world really deeply in their heart of hearts actually know. And Arsenal would usually 9.5 times out of 10 bottle it if Chelsea or a Man City come calling for any of the targets. There's something I've found out today that's quite interesting as well. So a lot of people, like I know Hazard, UE, Lee Akers, the real ones, we believe we should get Jude Bellingham. I've been told, listen, Arsenal considered, and it ain't even the summer yet, Arsenal considered an offer for Jude Bellingham. But with Real Madrid going public, PSG going public, Liverpool slightly confident they'll get him, Man City probably going to go public on their admiration for him, Chelsea are going to go for him. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal know their levels, which does disappoint me. But the news that I'm hearing could be still positive because it's really the player Arteta really wanted for that midfield. The reason why we dropped out of the race for Tielemans last summer, the reason why we dropped out of the race for Danilo this month is because actually we're going to go, from what I'm hearing, I doubt if it's true, he is a Chelsea fan, and this will probably piss off RBUE, we're actually going to make a full-blooded attempt to sign Declan Rice this summer. West Ham ain't going to do any deals now. If Chelsea tried to force the issue and make a bid for Declan Rice right now, but we know they're already wrapped up in getting Enzo Fernandez, so this is unlikely. This is a summer deal. But I'm hearing Arsenal do want a midfielder. Still unsure about Tielemans. Another thing on Tielemans today, something I said a day or two ago on the stream. Tielemans, as I said, the closer it gets to the end of January, Leicester will want to cash in on him. Whether Newcastle or even a Crystal Palace come calling. I've been told through an agent, Arsenal have been offered a really good price on Youri Tielemans. Take it or leave it right now. Apparently, we contacted Leicester straight back. It was a straight refusal. So either we believe we've got the deal done for the summer or we don't want him at all. My feelings is we don't want him at all. And unless something went wrong in the summer, it's the only time we'd do a U-turn and go for Youri Tielemans. But the way I see it is, like we've literally, I can't put a feel in it because I'm not a liar, but I've been told Arsenal in the last day or so have been offered a cheap as chips deal, a nice and cheap and cheerful deal for Youri Tielemans. Right, let me get this stream out there, guys. Just 2 seconds. Please get a like on the video. Do be subscribing if we is new. Cheap and cheerful deal for Youri Tielemans. Right, guys, we get some likes in the video as well, guys. Like 1 like here. 2 seconds. 1 like. Sorry, what was I saying? So yeah, the full-blooded attempt for Declan Rice. Now, if Chelsea come calling and he is a Chelsea fan, of course Chelsea win that race. But again, Chelsea are going for Enzo Fernandez. Benfica obviously 100 mil. And apparently they really want Moises Caicedo, and they do fancy their chances for Jude Bellingham. So the way Arsenal have seen it is Chelsea are going to be busy trying to get Caicedo away from Liverpool in the summer, do you know what I mean, etc. And suddenly the pathway could be clear for us to go and get Declan Rice. Shouts out to all the real ones though. Yeah, Lee was going. Yeah, man, Lee was going mad on the older group. We never trying. God would love to see it on fire. Blah blah blah. Don't worry, has a few heads PM me. Zaha is not in the same league as Mudryk. He most definitely isn't, bros. But Crystal Palace ain't asking 70 million for Zaha no more. That's the big difference. And we could get him for free, or again, you know what I mean? Vieira, the Palace owners, they know the deal, innit? He's leaving on a free at the end of the season, you know what I mean? The hope that Palace have got, though, he doesn't seem like he wants to go abroad or just take any other challenge. He'll take a really good wage at Palace to be his last big contract of his life, or hopefully an Arsenal or someone that is of interest of him. Another London club might come in for him. That's it. That's it. Made on Sunday journalist. Absolutely love it. Exactly. Even what I'm hearing tonight, guys. No, I'm not no league gunner out here or no fake reporter. I'm hearing, listen, and again, it isn't 1+1, and it makes sense to me. Whoever told it to me, whether it was a journalist, whether it's fake news, whatever, whether I read it off the internet on a gossip column. Arsenal obviously know their level, which is unfortunate, and we will not be involved for a race for Jude Bellingham. I wonder why these things are coming out at such a time when we're struggling to get Mykhailo Mudryk over the line. Do you know what I mean? But shouts out to all the real ones. Please be hitting the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. Shouts out to everyone that was safe overall. Everyone was safe to me at the game yesterday. I can't believe certain things on Twitter though. You people really need a laugh. Nah, Danny, see my tweet in the group about how Chelsea are moving. They're a proper banter club. They are a banter club, bros, but sometimes you've got to get things done. If there's a problem there, you've got new owners. You want to be a top 4 club, bros. What are you going to do? What Arsenal done last January? Have Rob Holding getting spun at White Hart Lane? And then the whole team running out of fire. Do you know what I mean? And running out of breath. You know? I know Newcastle have a mean defence, bros, but 0-0 at home to Newcastle, I still think we deserve better as fans. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people see that as a positive result. I don't see it as a positive result. We've got Man United coming up. Man United have done us once already this season, and they're a better Man United team than when they beat us 3-1. And Chelsea, as far as the banter club, if they're making just banter signings, bros, yes, I wouldn't pay 100 million for Fernandes either, but certain people like him. Do you know what I mean? That's sometimes there's a premium on the shit. Do you know what I mean? Like they've signed David Fofana, they've signed Badiashile, and they've signed Santos. Fofana, what was it? 10 mil. Santos is 12.5 mil. Badiashile is between 30 and 40 mil. That's not really banter signings. Do you know what I mean? If you want to say if they're making up for banter signings, they could be making up for the mistakes of Aubameyang and perhaps Sterling. Hence why we should hurry the fuck up for Mudryk. So let me just put a final line on this. There's a reason why these Mudryk rumours have come out. I mean, the Shakhtar and Chelsea meeting has come out. Whether it's fake news or real news. The real news is Shakhtar have done like what clubs have done to other clubs in the past. There is a deadline to do this deal. If the deal isn't done by this time, we're not accepting any more bids, and that's it. The player stays with us. Shakhtar have kind of set Arsenal a deadline, get the deal done by them, or do you know what? We don't give a fuck even what our own Ukrainian G, our own brother, do you know what I mean? Mykhailo Mudryk says. We won't even listen to him. We just then go with what suits us. They know what he wants. He wants Arsenal. Arsenal want him. But yeah, Shakhtar ain't going to be just sort of bullied into just giving their player. Do you know what I mean? I do reckon, yep. Let's get some of the silent listeners in. Let's get some of the funny guys in. Big up all the internet files, reminder who stole all your browser history. Yeah, you know that, edit, bros. People watch me regularly, bros. People watch me regularly, bros. Start copying titles, copying streams, bros. They're hilarious. Yeah, that's what I mean about the banter club, bros. Seriously. Do you know what I mean? He's 21. He's a winger. They've got wingers they're not sure of. Do you know what I mean? They've got Hakim Ziyech. They're not sure of him. They've got Sterling, who ain't on fire. Who else have they got on the wing? Fuck me, it slipped my mind. Do you know what I mean? So I think a Mikhailo Mudryk would be a good signing for them. Do you know what I mean? And as I said, if Arsenal had a genuine, like a plan B, all right, if we don't get Mudryk, if they're going to pull our pants down for 80 million cash up front and we want to pull out the deal, then we should have a plan of what we're going to do next. My feeling is there is no other plan. And could this be, do you know what this looks like already? Do you remember Dusan Vlahovic last January, guys? And then at the end of January, it started turning out that this geezer didn't ever want to come out of Italy. All right, we know Mudryk does want to join Arsenal, so it can't be that situation. But what if Mudryk waited and waited for Arsenal until it just got boring and then he signed for Chelsea? We'll see. Financial fair play will do, bros, but do you know what I mean? They'll sell a couple of players. They've got Conor Gallagher. They've got probably that Billy Gilmore, Hudson Odoi they can sell, Hakim Ziyech they can sell. Do you know what I mean? They can sell their two midfielders because they've got two coming in. N'Golo Kante and Juninho, they can fuck off. Do you know what I mean? They might be about to fucking sell Koulibaly. Not that I've heard that, but he just looks shit when I see him. You know what I mean? They spent 70 million on Fofana, but they don't give a fuck. They're about to go and get Badiashile now. Bros, I've said this for a very long time. Seriously, I reported this day one. As soon as we didn't want him last year, that was the bait bit. Because it wasn't the most expensive deal then, allegedly. It was about 25 mil, 30 mil we were arguing over. Now, I've been told we've literally been offered him for as cheap as chips. And again, we've rejected it. Well, again, Lee, financially, you would want your club to do it on the cheap. You want the best for your club. But it's the decisions we finally make and then the players that we buy and then give away. You know what I mean? Again, you see if Chelsea, see, this is the thing, Hazard, yeah? You're saying 62 million plus add-ons. I believe if Chelsea put 62 million on the table, that's what it takes to get this guy. Do you want me to say something like, mark my words, and this is something you'll probably clip the whole minute I said it on. What minute are we on? Do you know what I mean? Minute 17:40. Mark my words, Hazard, though. I reckon 62 million cash Chelsea will get him. Because Chelsea won't do this add-ons and performance-related bullshit. Chelsea will just get the job done and take the player. Unproven talent. So it isn't cheap, bro. And it isn't cheap, bro. Most definitely. But what I'm saying is, it ain't this 80, 90 million pound that everyone's fucking making out. It's nowhere near it, bros. There you go. That's right up Lee Akers' street. Shouts out to the real ones. Please hit the likes on the video. Maybe subscribing if you're new. I keep meaning to put this video out there as well. Totally forgot before. I had Big Ted's in the house. Do you know what I mean? Kind of disturbing my flow a little bit. Right, where are we? Give me 2 seconds, real ones. So sorry about this. But yeah, what do you think about the Declan Rice thing? Any truth? But again, if Chelsea put an interest in him for Declan Rice, we won't get him either. I reckon so, bro. Maybe we won't you, but you have to pay to find out. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Because if he's on fire, do you know what I mean? We won't lose him like we're going to lose Pepe, our 72 million talent, for free. Man, Real Madrid will be paying over 100 million for him. Let's look at Fernandes, £100 million player. Look at the centre half everyone's talking about from the World Cup, £100 million player suddenly. Do you know what I mean? But look how long though. Last January we negotiated. It's the only thing I don't trust about Arsenal, Arteta, Edu, because they're all lying bastards. Look what we done last January. That was neglectful, fraudulent, disgusting, bang out of order. Do you know what I mean? I still don't know if we really was even in for Dusan Vlahovic. I don't even know if we made an offer. We done this usual kind of, we look, we talk, we register our interest, all that kind of bullshit. But All I know is last January we didn't come away with a player, and the player ended up going somewhere else. What's going to happen this January? This January we're top. Last year we was going for top 4 with all respect. This year we're top. And we have already slipped up at home to Newcastle. Whether people see that as a slip up or not, I see that as a straight slip up. And yeah, not really good enough. Guys, give me 1 second. Please get a like on the video. Do be subscribing if we is new. But yeah, I don't know. That's another thing which I was saying about Hazard when I think Hazard was a bit pissed earlier. Bruv, way too relaxed, bruv. Like, do you know what I mean? It's almost like what I say Arsene Wenger was way too relaxed. It's almost like it was his money he was spending when he was trying to go into the transfer market to sign people for Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, anyways, give me 2 seconds, people. Just want to liven up a couple of heads out here. Right, you. Let me do that one more time, roll once, and then I'm back. I feel like I want to sneeze, like, but it ain't coming out. What's up with that? All right, let's go, guys. Let's get into this chat now. Every transfer is a risk. Yep. Definitely, bros. Everything is a risk, bros. Endrick. Do you know what I mean? Real Madrid. I've got Endrick. That is a risk at about the reported £60 million. I bet in 2 seasons from now, though, no one at Real Madrid will be saying Endrick is a risk and everyone will be loving him. Do you know what I mean? Whether he's 16 or not. In 2-3 seasons, no one in the world is going to be complaining. Excuse me, guys. Jesus. No one is a proper rambling. No one in the world is going to be complaining about Endrick. But is that a 50 or 60 million pound risk? Of course it's a risk at 16 years old. Again, with Endrick, you certainly at 16 you had to pay to find out. Can't see him. Ex-Russian. But yeah, they're American now. So that's irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? That's irrelevant, bros. Like, people are saying Zinchenko is still key to the deal. Okay, cool. They could be friends. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if we're still talking on January 10th, 11th, 12th about Mudryk, the longer this goes on, the longer I think this is another Dusan Vlahovic. And it will turn out to be like a Chelsea that will get him. I thought they confused me as well. Fuck the point last night. Truly, again, I don't think the player gives one fuck, bros. He probably would have signed for them if Abramovich was there. He wouldn't have given a fuck. No, bros. They just want to do what they believe is right for their club. If they're trying to mess up the market, they would have done things like probably got Ronaldo in just for the commercial fuck of it. You know what I mean? Definitely. Chatting for time. The carpet awaits him, boys. This is what I reckon, Hazard. But how long is this carpet having to await him for? All right, let me ask you this then, Hazard. Unless you're coming on, I can save it to them. How long before, let's just say now, Chelsea do have a bid. Say Chelsea and Shakhtar's meeting next Monday or Tuesday is real, and they agree a fee, and then the player is told he's now got permission to go to Chelsea and talk. Is all the Liakers and the real ones going to be saying he's a snake for talking to Chelsea? Or is it just Arsenal are dumb for not bidding the acceptable amount? I'm promising you again, real ones. It's hard to prove it, but I'll be proved right. They don't want 80, 90 million pounds. It's probably Arsenal bidding 30, 20, 30 million quid. And then the rest in add-ons. Chelsea will nick this guy between 60, 65 million tops. No add-ons, no nothing. Just cash money on the table. And then what are we all going to say, real ones? Oh, we didn't want to pay 60 million. It was too much of a financial risk in this current climate. Most definitely, bros. But tell me which player Factually, yeah. We can go Google it right now, or even jump on. We'll do it, bro. Chelsea kind of, you know what I mean? Even though it has been put out there, Sky Sports News, whatever. But I wouldn't believe Darmish anyway, whatever the fuck. That Chelsea are now thinking of doing the breaking it down, the do it on tick financially. What I mean, doing it on add-ons, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, I almost lost it there. For Enzo Fernandez, because they don't want to pay no more than 70, 80 million quid for this geezer. That's what they rate him at. But Benfica want in excess of 100 million. So Chelsea are kind of putting it to them, well, do you know what then, you cunts? We'll give you 110 million, you can. But you're going to have 50 now, and you can have another 60 over the next 5 seasons of his contract. How's about that, you little bitches? And apparently Benfica thought, oh shit, but you're the money team of London. You pay cash. Yes, bro. It's very, very... Liverpool do their business like that. Do you know what I mean? Man City, again, as far as I know, they like to tidy up their loose ends, you know what I mean? And pay cash, do you know what I mean? Because you don't want that money if you want to be really, really fucking nitty-gritty of it, Hazard. Teams like Man City, Chelsea don't want to be having financial fair play knocking on their door the next season because they've still got to pay for Sterling, Aubameyang, etc. So no, bros, 9 times out of 10, massive teams don't do their business like that. Do you know what I mean? Well, that's actually Barcelona do their business like that. Real Madrid, you know what I mean? But again, the teams with money, bros, the Chelseas, you know what I mean? Don't do that. As a piss, never done it. Ty, what you saying, my brother? Bless, almost didn't see you there, bros. We're getting proper into this debate of should Arsenal just put the fucking money down? Hello. Oh, scammer from Twitter. See, again, faceless keyboard warrior. What a waste, man. Wish I'd have noticed you earlier. Scammer, bros. Again, who has actually said I've scammed them for a ticket? If anyone has gone to the game through me, bros, they're delighted people. Or with their little, or like your ratty self, they'll be up on my channel screaming. Do you know what I mean? Because again, bros, just like you, do you know what I mean? Most people know me. You know what I mean? I didn't hear no one calling me a scammer at the toilet yesterday, bros. Do you know what I mean? I didn't hear no one at the stadium calling me a scammer. I got a couple of little looks, do you know what I mean? La la la. A lot of hellos and blah blah blah. The people that are probably helloing me and trying to spud me probably really fucking hate me, the cunts. And haven't subscribed to my channel. Do you think I give a shit? No, I sleep well at night. Everything's fine around me. Me and my surroundings are fine, you little waste man, scammer. Who needs to scam someone for 100 quid? Or 200 quid or whatever, you little tramp. Let me promise you something, you little wanker. You see them pictures there? Between them, they cost more than fucking what I was asking for tickets. I was asking for whatever price for a ticket yesterday. So you see, you mark between them 2 pictures. What, are they scam pictures? Did I scam someone for them pictures? Or all them hats or whatever the fuck I own, you silly little tart? Who's going to have a channel and a Twitter or whatever, blah, 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 and then actually scam and try and rob someone? Like, I know I'm a bad man out here, and I don't fear nothing, not even God. In fact, only God can judge me. But who the fuck needs a couple 100 quid when you need to scam a couple of Arsenal fans? You fucking complete wet one. Wow. Man's got time out here. 1 second, Hazard. I see you coming into the chat. Who's this chat? Who's this prick in the chat? I don't know. So what, bro? Seriously. I see man out there charging 300 quid, yeah, for fucking tickets for Wolverhampton. The geezer about to come into my stream. I'll add him, yeah? Hold your horses a second, Hazard. The geezer, because I remember factually, I was meant to go meet the geezer. I've just added to the stream. Good evening, Hazard, yeah? I was meant to go meet him for this game. And do you know how much I was fucking being quoted on Twitter for a ticket for Wolves? You fucking wet one. Over 300 quid. So listen, mate, it's called the fucking market, whether it sounds harsh or not. If you actually are, and I'm not a ticket tout, if you are a real ticket tout, mate, the smart geezer does buy a load of Arsenal Man City tickets, Arsenal versus Man United, and leaves the Arsenal Aston Villa game for the prick that's like you fucking wet one. Tell me what the fuck to do. What do you mean don't want a medal? I want a fucking Blue Peter badge, you little fucking rat. Sorry, Hazard, good evening, bro.
Evening. How you doing, Dan?
Hold on, I can't hear you. Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bro.
What are you saying?
What did I actually did? Sorry, let me just finish off with this little rat here.
Yeah,
Probably
rat.
Do you know what I mean? Hazard, like, how bored are people, bro? Like, seriously, a scammer. They make it up as they go along, bro. Like, I had a wicked tweet from a geezer called AFC Governor. I never met him in my life. Black dude, whatever. That not that it matters, he's a black dude. I think he was almost just feeling my pain and saying that, kind of like, you know what I mean? He goes, "Do you get pulled over by police a lot as well because you wear a hat and bandana?" It's like, bros, it's so funny, bros. All these people, he just basically commented. One of my tweets yesterday has, do you know how many views it had? Like, all of them had over 10,000 individually. If you go look at my tweet yesterday, they all had 10, 11,000 views. One of them got up to 270,000, 270K, bros. Yeah?
It's mad out here.
And I got, again, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 replies on that one tweet. All hate. Do you know what I mean? Big up the 3%ers, yeah? The 3% that had my back. So what if he wants to buy hats and have nice TMs and go to the Emirates Stadium? You know what I mean? He ain't doing that illegal. Do you know what I mean? One geezer went as far as to say, I've just got out of jail.
Let me tell you something. Most of these businesses out here, right, the big multinationals are built on exploitation anyway, right? You think you become a billionaire by being ethical? Come on, mate.
Exactly.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The thing is the supply and demand in it. End of the day, if you've got a ticket, right, and you can give it to your mates at cost value or for free, yeah, but actually you don't know these man, so you're gonna, you know, these things are gold dust at the end of the day. I mean, to get a ticket for Newcastle is gonna be gold dust. So why can't you make a little thing on it?
Hazard, what did I say to you regarding a ticket the other day? And I think Lee Akers said it in the group as well. What did we say to you regarding tickets, money-wise?
You said, right, that for the real ones, it's a minor, right?
Exactly.
But
face
at the end
value,
of the day,
or even a
face
free,
value, exactly. Yeah.
or free for someone like you, Hazard. Do you know what I mean? Again, these Twitter pricks, G, whatever his name is, he's going on like that's my fucking cousin there. I owe him something. Do you know what I mean?
Nah. Don't waste your energy on them, Dan. Don't even waste it.
Anyway, yeah. Hazard, good evening. What's going on? Shouts out to all the real ones in the chat. Let's get back to normality now. Hazard, Mikhailo Mudrak, talk to me.
So some fires going on in the groups today, ain't it, Dan?
Then, bro.
Passions are high, innit? Passions are high.
Yeah, I've tried to be I've tried to wear the Hazard hat today. I tried to be diplomatical. Do you know what I mean? With a few of the things, apart from my screenshot, which is a piss take, because that was where I just lost my shit, honestly, with you. Because I thought, hold on, there's being calm and relaxed on something. 1 + 1 makes 2 for me. I'm a very realist person. You've known that from my whole YouTube for a long time. Now, bro, if someone like, as you said, yeah, or you pointed me out, at least said, oh, if it's all bullshit, it's fake news, the whole Chelsea coming in for him. The whole Shakhtar now planning meetings with Chelsea is kind of like the kick up. Well, our client does want to join you. You do want him. Let's kind of agree on the right thing.
Yeah.
And Hazard, again, not to make it boring, I believe, because people are saying 80, 90, 100 million pounds. Bros, it's not going to cost this. Chelsea won't have to pay 100 million pounds for Mikhailo Mudrak. They'll put the money down in cash money and get the job done. And I don't want this to happen with Arsenal. Arsenal left there fucking squirming around because we haven't.
Right. I'll tell you why I didn't lose my shit, right? Because what really comforts me and all of you is the player is twerking for us like no other player has. So if he ever did join Chelsea, which, by the way, I'll explain in a minute why I don't believe that is going to happen, is his career at Chelsea has already started badly because this guy was flirting with us and well, no, more than flirting, he was twerking for us literally a week before he joined you, man, right? So that's the first thing out of the way, right? The second thing is we know that these poor European countries, right, war-torn country in the case of Ukraine, right, is these man, they're scrounging for the money. These clubs are, right. This is a one in a generation talent for them, right? That they're going to be able to sell for good money. So they're going to be scraping for. They ain't going to be like a Real Madrid letting Odegaard go for 30 mil. That's not happening, right? Because of the loyalty that Odegaard has shown over the years. They ain't going to let Xhaka go for 11 million pounds. You understand what I'm saying? Like some of the rich clubs can afford to. They are going to be able trying to scrap for as much as they want. Now, let me go on to the second point here about Mudryk himself. These men know that Mudryk is going to Arsenal. He ain't going nowhere else because he's probably already told his agent it's Arsenal in nothing. Look at the tweets, Instagram post he's putting up a couple of days ago. The 2 greatest managers, his old manager and the current manager, that's the Arteta, sort of Arsenal's manager. So the club are actually in a very pressured situation, and this is why I'm not losing my shit here. The club, Shakhtar, in a very pressured situation where what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and use the media PR machine to try and scoop as much money as they can. Now,
Of
I'm
course.
not denying here, by the way, I'm not denying here that Chelsea haven't got interest, but you need to remember the comment I put up a few minutes ago, about my tweet in not my tweet, but it was a Fabrizio tweet. So we're talking about tier ones here, which I put up. What Chelsea have done with the Enzo Fernandez deal is they have used their own media machine to tell every man like you and me, right? Yeah, that Chelsea are not even willing to break the release clause for Enzo Fernandez. They're ready to exceed it. But what they did is when they got into the around the table with them, they go, "Nah, that's just bullshit. That is, man. What we're going to give you is 80 mil, right? So forget what we said about breaking the release clause. This is what we're going to give you." You know what they did? They
Go on.
said, "Fuck you, mate. We're not doing that." They said, "On your bike." Hence why a few days ago that was a red hot fire deal. Now, tier ones like Fabrizio go in, there's no deal. So, what Chelsea are trying to do is they're trying to play the media machine to make it look like they've got unlimited pockets. But what they're actually doing is when they're getting round the table, they're doing an Arsenal move, which is, as let's quote one of the brothers for another mother, Lee Akers, big up my guy, Lee Akers, right? Big man out there, is cheap. What did he call it? Cheap as chips, right? You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not losing my shit here, right? That's what I'm saying is the club will pay what they think is a good, and by the way, it is a good amount. What they are offering for a 22-year-old unproven talent that's played 30 games in the Ukrainian league and a few handful of games in the Champions League is a very, very vast amount. But what I'm saying is, and by the way, I listened to your stream a few minutes ago, and I have to say, I have to agree with every word you said. The fear here is not about what's going on in this deal. The fear here, and I am critical of the club, what they done us over in January with the Dusan Vlahovic thing, right, is
There you go.
that's what we've got to be worried about, right?
That's
Because
it.
the club used their own PR machine to sell us fans down the river, which they did in January. And
That's
yes,
it.
shout out to my guy UE, big man out there, knows ball, big man out there, is absolutely the fans had their trousers pulled down last time, and we should always call out the club when they do that. But in summary on this, Stan, I'm not worried. I think this will probably go on a little bit longer, but I think that we will end up agreeing to a fee, not the 88 million that they're asking for, but
Uh-huh.
somewhere in between.
So here's the way I'm going to have it on. I don't want to drag into it all night long because, again, it is kind of black and white. Has like, again, everything you've said there, I do agree with. But here's the one difference. So when you talk about Chelsea and Fernandes, there is having a good World Cup and then taking the piss out of. Cody Gakpo had a good World Cup. He went to Liverpool for 35, 40 mil. Pretty reasonable for 4 World Cup goals, yeah? Enzo Fernandez, I literally didn't know about him before the World Cup. If you want to ask, and I did know about Cody Gakpo with all respect, yeah? What I'm saying is, if you want to ask me for 35, 40 mil for Gakpo, I think, okay, cool, you're not a fucking dickhead. You want to ask me for over 100 million for a player, you're a fucking idiot. So I think Chelsea are actually making just a little on that one stand. And the way I've heard it is, Chelsea rate him in the 70 million mark, and they're like, cool, we'll give you 70 up front. You know what I mean? And the way I've heard it is, if you want us to even get to your release clause or exceed, if you like, we're now going to do an Arsenal on you. That bit I did slightly agree. We're now going to fuck with you. We now want to give you 38 mil up front, and we're going to pay you slowly over his 5.5-year contract. And Benfica are suddenly like, oh shit, we didn't expect you to come like Arsenal on us, bro. Now we'll see if they can come together again on negotiations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think the point I was trying to make there is, Danny, is what Chelsea are doing out in the fan zones, in terms of the media fan zones, and what people are like. You're going to be thinking like Lee's saying earlier, we should be acting like a big club. Well, actually, they're actually playing the game very clever. The only difference between them and us is that we play the game better than them, right? Is we go in as skint, and sometimes we end up doing good deals. 27 million for Saliba. Come on, this kid must be worth
Hazard.
100
This is what I'm
million
going to say
today,
to you
man.
again.
You know
Hold
it
on.
yourself.
Hazard. We showed, I don't know if it was whoever was in charge at the time, because I still can't believe it. I love Saliba, how we got that deal over the line. even with all the fake news of the agent was in Manchester and blah, 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 yeah? But at £27 million, I told you then it was a snip, and I know you'll agree now, it was definitely a snip. But let's not go down this Saliba road, yeah? Odegaard, yeah? He went there as a kid. I think he cost actually a slight bit more when he was 15, 16 years old. I think Real Madrid actually signed him for 39 mil, bro, because he was the best thing in the world. They knew whatever. Roberto Baggio, Messi, la la la. He went on various loans to like Holland and wasn't looking that amazing. So I do congratulate Arsenal on the 34, 35 million capture of him, because it would cost you 90 million in reality. What I'm saying is, though, Hazard, no one else had really spotted that talent in Odegaard, yeah? And you can say the same, Ramsdale, 2 relegations in a row, or perhaps even Jesus.
Even Jesus, I was just going to say, brilliant business.
But again, so brilliant that Pep would be willing to get rid of him. Didn't use him when he had no strikers last year. I see it as an alarm bell. Let me break down what I mean here.
Yeah, go on.
The players that we've signed, and I'm not criticizing no one, they were the players we needed at that time to get us to a certain level. The Odegaard, the Ramsdale, the whatever come in, bros. You know what I mean? They were what was needed. The Jesus, whatever, yeah? Now, if you like, we might need slightly better. Someone like Mudryk, yeah? Who is, again, slightly unproven compared to certain man. But again, just as the way the market is, bros, you've seen the money. Do you know what I mean? And the way things are going. Look at Fernandes. When Arsenal now need to go into that top tier of market, bros, you're going to have competition. So what I'm saying is a nutshell, 50 million Ben White, no one wanted him. Ramsdale, we really had no competition. Odegaard, we had no competition. My fear is now, whether it's Man United, Chelsea, or even Aston Villa, bros, when you want a certain quality of player, there's going to be a certain price tag or something attached to it, no matter who it is, bros.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just sorting my audio out here.
That's cool.
Dan, because,
okay, bros, here's the
Mandem are saying that they can't hear the mic and that, yeah. So let me just
hold on, let me catch up. Let me jump in.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine. I had to adjust it once or twice at the beginning, but I got good.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Is that any better, Yui?
I think you're cool.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're right. Sorry. I'm having the sneezes of my life. But anyway, sorry. Hazel, what I'm saying is if Arsenal haven't got competition, we can get the player done with Ben White, even overpay, bros. I think we overpaid for Ben White.
I don't agree with that.
In hindsight, maybe not, bros.
With the English tax in there as well, I think I mean, at the time, you're probably thinking with what he's done. But I mean, if you look at what he's done for us now, you'd get your 50 mil back all day long, wouldn't you now?
I reckon so, but I still don't think we're going to have a massive queue of people trying to bid 50, 60 mil for him. So sorry, I've got the sneezes that are going on. Fucking hell. But all I'm saying is, if whether it's Mudryk, say, all right, Jude Bellingham then, yeah? Will Arsenal go in for Jude Bellingham?
They should. I think if we finish first or second this season, and again, this is relatively unspoken about. We know that through the tier ones, we know that Arsenal are admirers of Jude. And you see, this is where I'm coming from now, because it's player by player, isn't it? Really, Jude Bellingham for me, right? This is going back to your UEs and your Lee Akers and whatnot, responding to them, right? Is I would be on their line if we were talking about 110 million for Jude Bellingham, right? I'd be saying absolutely push out the boat, because he's almost more than proven. If you look at what he's done in a good league, right? If you look at what he's done in the World Cup, that's a generational talent. He's more generational compared to Mudryk for me, right? You know, because he's done it for longer. He's only, what is he, 18, 19, Jude Bellingham, right?
20.
Okay, I thought he was 19, but anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you guys have been talking about Rice. You've been mentioning Rice a few minutes ago on that. So what, Rice is going to be 50 million, 45, 50, whatever. Push the boat out and go 100 mil for Jude. You know why? Because he's going to change your team, and you know it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's where my argument is the 60 million you've got to look at risk versus reward. This is some of the stuff we're saying in the group today, right? Yeah, is that you're looking at sort of 60 million. What I don't want to happen is, and you mentioned earlier about Pepe as well. I was listening as well, right? Is we can't flog Pepe for 10 million quid now, right?
Uh-huh.
Because we took a risk on a player that again was unproven, smashing it for one season in the French league, which is a better league than the Ukrainian one. Let's have it right here, right? Yeah, and he flopped here. I mean, I don't think he flopped, to be honest with you. I think he probably wasn't given the right chances in the right areas. He probably could have been a player. Do you know what I mean? But he's out of favour, and we can't sell him. So in terms of transfer value, he's flopped. Do you know what I mean? And that's what the club, I think, don't want to do again, right? Is they want to pay what they feel is the right amount. And look, if he goes to Chelsea and smashes it out there and scores, takes them to league titles and whatnot, you'll have me back here going, yeah, you know what? I was wrong on that, right? But the point I'm trying to make to the Mandem is we just do not know.
Cool.
This is
So hold
all
on.
subjective. Do you know what I
All right,
mean?
so this is hard for me to prove. Tyler, Yui, and Lundberg, everyone, I'm going to get back to you in the comments. 1 minute, yeah? So again, it's hard to prove, and it has been, it's a lot on the, I'll show you the media links and everything, but it will more break out. Don't worry, the more, as I'm saying,
About
you
the
have
rice.
banners and that, they'll get it. So what I'm hearing is, as much as Arsenal, you can call them A1, A, B, C, wanker people, Arsenal are admirers of Jude Bellingham. But from what I hear is, they actually already know their level. So to appease the Arsenal fans, I'm hearing they will do everything they can to get who you just mentioned, someone like Declan Rice, which I don't understand because I hear it could even be more, 65, even possibly 70 if you want to get add-ons and that involved. Why wouldn't you throw another 30, 40 million to get the quality of Jude, younger, better, blah, blah, etc.? Now the smoke screen I'm hearing is, well, Arteta feels the way Arsenal play, and it was something I said to you on this stream, like the two strong central midfielders and an Odegaard or whatever ahead. It's we see him as the actual replacement for one of the probably two. You know what I mean? In the central midfield now, whatever. What I'm saying is, whether we get Rice or not, and he's a Chelsea fan, so I don't believe it. So I almost feel like I'm going crazy because we can't even get the Mudrak done at the moment. We can't look at a Bellingham, bros, because there's PSG publicly saying they like him. Do you know what I mean? And then the Liverpool and everyone else. Arsenal ain't that serious, bros. And that's the thing that worries me with this Mudrak thing. You said it's going to go on a bit. Bros, the longer it goes on, the longer this turns into a Dusan Vlahovic.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite a Dusan Vlahovic because I think you're right with what you said earlier. Is Vlahovic was never going to happen, and I think the club pulled our pants down on that one because I actually believe that there was no real contact because the tier ones, if you look at it, Fabrizio and co, were never really putting any fire on that Vlahovic one. It was always coming through the lesser ones, your Jacobs and whatnot, and it was never with football transfer language, you've always got to be very careful with what you read because the way that these journalists put stuff out, the average person would have them read of this. Vlahovic is going to sign tomorrow. But actually, if you look at the language, there was never any committed language with any of the tweets and articles that were coming out. So I don't believe we're there. And we've also got the player now who is openly talking about wanting to join us. Let's be straight. Let's have it right here. And I think that's one of the reasons why this will get over the line because Yui said, one of the things that I said early on I agree with is he needs to kick off now. If this is getting raw, if this is getting fishy, he needs to go to his agent or the club and say, guys, don't piss around with me now. This is my dream move. You've said that I could go. Don't take the piss now.
Hold on, and
Free
this
a
is where,
few.
hold on, again, I'm so sorry to interrupt because you
No
are on the
worries.
right lines of literally what I'm coming to. This is where Arsenal will get found out if we're bullshitters or not. So last
Yes.
season, what everyone think about Dusan, yeah? So this guy has now put, I don't think even Arsenal would have expected themselves. Like, again, God forbid, I hope this ain't true. Arsenal probably sitting there, the Kroenkers like, is this motherfucker really putting up tweets of us live on the TV? They probably didn't expect all of that. And so Arsenal's hardball dickhead game now, this is why I think Shakhtar have invented this new game. Do you know what? We've got a meeting with Chelsea. It's planned. And you've probably got this much time to sort out your lives. Now, bro, again, whether Chelsea do or don't, and Chelsea are that much of a spiteful bastard team, they probably will. What I'm saying is, if we're just told, and then all the bullshitting is done has, because then what are you going to say then? Chelsea bid 64.4 million, has let's just say for argument's sake, yeah? And it's accepted. And then the Shakhtar come out, the Ukrainians say, all you've got to do, cunts, you North London fuckers. It's
Yeah.
just been 60 point, you know what I mean? Then Arsenal have got a decision to make, bros. And it's,
Shall
well,
I be
was he
honest
worth
with you? Shall I tell you what will happen if that was the case? Because you've got to remember, clubs can negotiate with 3 or 4 clubs if they want to. They can agree fees with. We've seen it happen, haven't we?
Yeah.
They could have as many. They probably have. They've probably had meetings with other clubs that maybe haven't sort of reached the media yet or whatnot, right? It. The problem I think Chelsea are going to find if they are being serious about this is having meeting terms with the player. Now, if the player doesn't want to go to Chelsea and he kicks up a fuss and says Arsenal is the choice and destination of where I want to go, then Chelsea can bid 200 million if they want to. You know,
Oh,
it's where the boy wants to go. Now, there's a number of players you mentioned earlier in the stream that Chelsea have got sitting in their club at the moment that aren't in the greatest of form. The problem with Chelsea is, and this is where I think their owners, we talked about this in a group today, and I'll just say it for the listeners, for the watchers, is Chelsea aren't as best run club as we are believed to. Led
of
to
course
believe.
not.
They've got lots and lots of players on silly wages, and when you put players, look, we know 2 examples, Aubameyang and Özil, right?
There
When
you
you
go.
put players on high wages, and we look, let's face it, even our own league, we're in a recession in this country at this moment in time. So forget any other leagues abroad. Aubameyang had to take a pay cut to go to Barcelona. Özil, we had to cancel his contract. Do you know what I mean?
That's
So
it.
the point I'm trying to make here is that doing business for Chelsea isn't as easy as we think here, that they can just go and plop a load of money down and go, here you go. Because actually, I believe they need to move someone out the door first, because they've got, you mentioned, who's the American winger? I don't think you mentioned him. Um,
Pulisic.
Pulisic.
Pulisic. Forgot
Pulisic is
about him.
likely, yeah. I mean, Pulisic is likely to be the person that's going to give way here, right? So, you've also got to think about what Chelsea have got here in terms of moving out the way on big wages, which is going to be very difficult for them.
But bro, again, this is a story for a different day. I don't think Chelsea care. Like, even just to spy Arsenal, slow Arsenal down in the title race. Yeah, as I said, whether they do it or they don't, bros, there's going to be a conclusion here. The Dusan Vlahovic conclusion. And my fear is, will Arsenal just put the fucking money on the table? So let's get into a few comments though. Ty, I believe we will, if God is with us. But as I'm saying,
When you go down a bit, you're going to see Zeds on, innit, from the All Gunners podcast, yeah?
All right, come. Let's get into all the comments. Right, how much did Real Madrid pay for Endrick? 60 million. I mentioned that earlier. That is a risk, and that is a risk. I promise you that all of that 60 million for Endrick is going to pay off. You know what I mean? Shouts out to you on that one. I think we should come on to this side. What? I think you should come on. Possibly, most definitely. Bigging up the man there, man like Hazard. Hazard, turn your volume up. All right, so I'm a bit behind. The All Gunners podcast, hold on. Never should have got rid of Doozy. Well, his replacement, Lokonga, again, a story for a different day, but Arteta is allowed one mistake.
Big up you and Bergkamp, though, yeah?
100 million for Jude Bellingham is cheap for Arsenal. We'll be lucky to get him perfect exact replacement. But again, bros,
big up Zed, yeah? Big up Zed. Big up Zed.
Big up Zed, sorry, big up Zed. But Zed, like I'm just saying to Hazard, the reason why Arsenal get nervous when a team gets involved on a player, when they think they can go for Ramsdale unchallenged, Ben White unchallenged, Odegaard unchallenged, Jesus unchallenged. Every player we seem to buy, in my opinion, we've been pretty Tomiyasu unchallenged. Do you know what I mean? As soon as Arsenal have to go into a debate with another team, bros, this is where the problem is going forward on getting the quality of players we need. Do you know what I mean? We thought we'd try and shop in Ukraine. Do you know what I mean? Thinking we'll be smart, we'll go Ukraine, and we're still going to get bent over because, do you know what? The Ukrainians ain't dickheads out here. They're going through their own drama. So they're thinking, you know what, you North London bitches, blah, blah, blah. So even then, I'm going to rule that one totally out. We should be looking at him, Zed. We won't. Do you know what I mean? Because PSG have gone public, blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
Again, Danny, I just want to answer you on that one. If you can come in there, right? Yeah, I think we look at a lot about what the clubs do, but a lot of the players got a great say here. Now, this kind of season that we're having, by the way, we're at a very penultimate time of the season. These next 2 or 3 games could decide how we move forward. But if we end up winning the league title, just for argument's sake here, Danny, yeah, why wouldn't Jude Bellingham want to come to us? Why would he go to Liverpool? Why would he go to City? Now, listen, we already know. Let's go there with the City. The youth from Leeds, right? Wasted his man's career, fam. The man is now. The man can't get in the team because he's been spending too much time in McDonald's, fam.
But
Do you know
I
what I mean?
totally agree with that. But again,
City
that
and
is more.
Chelsea ruin careers, and that's a fact, right?
But players
So
still take the
so
risk and go there.
who could afford him, right? We know that Manchester United could afford him. Why would he? All right, okay. To be fair, the way they're playing at the moment, but he's already told us he don't want to. He laughed when Man United had been mentioned to Jude. Remember that clip? Yeah.
Pretty
City
much, yeah.
City could afford him, so they've probably got a good chance of signing him. Chelsea could, well, supposedly we think Chelsea could support him, could afford him, right? But I'm
Yes,
not
they could.
sure. Again, for similar reasons as I said earlier, whether we could. Why can't Arsenal be part of that conversation, Danny? If we are in the Champions League next season or we win the league,
Well, again, Hazard, this is a question for you because I know deep down Jude Bellingham probably would want to join us. The way I heard it was we were pretty close to Jude before he even fucked off to Borussia Dortmund. But again, it's like the way I'm hearing it today. Again, possibly fake news, probably fake news. But the way I see it is I've already heard Arsenal are going to turn off their attention to Jude Bellingham. They're admirers, but they know, like, do you know what I mean? There's so many teams after him, but they're going to make a full-hearted attempt to go and get Declan Rice. Whether this is true or not, all I'm saying is basically, yeah, fucking.
look,
It's
you've got to
sometimes
invest for the you've got to invest for the future. And as Zed has said there, big up Zed, is that he would be the perfect Xhaka replacement. He fits the age profile, right? I think 100 million. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you're kind of securing. You sign someone like him, in your midfield, you're securing top four at least finishes, if not challenging for league titles for the next 4 or 5 years at
hold on,
least.
can I stop you there, Hazard? How do I put this? All right, we know what happened last January. We didn't sign no one. I think if Saliba was there holding, listen, it got a bit boring. But all right, how do I put this?
Champions League money, Dan.
I know this, but I'm thinking. I'm just going to put all right for Arsenal to win the league now. But you're asking a question now. It's almost like all right. Let's say if Jude Bellingham was available now, wouldn't Arsenal be in a prime position to win the league for them? For him?
Yeah, but it's whether Dortmund would let him go now, and
We
what
know that.
it
I'm
would cost.
hypothetically.
Yeah.
Okay, say it's going to cost the same what they're saying, 120, 130. Arsenal, I don't believe would do it now. We're choking over Mudryk.
No, they wouldn't do it now. No,
Excuse
wouldn't
me.
do it now. But look, I guess what I'm trying to say to you, Danny, is that we're projecting our conversations at different time frames. Really, we're talking about here and now with the Mudryk situation. I'm asking the viewers to kind of think about where we're going to be in 6 months' time when the league is finished, and if we are league winners or we're up there in the Champions League. We need to be, as quote in the Mandem like Lee Akers, UE. We need to be acting like a big club, and if we're not going for the Jude Bellinghams of the world, we haven't learned those lessons, and that's what I'm trying to say. And some of that is criticism of the club and the way we've run and we have run. But I do think that in this round of recruitment, the last two windows, we are kind of pulling our socks up. We've got rid of lots of like dead wood, which isn't a problem now. We're signing players with good resale value, right? You know, I do believe, you know, Jesus was secured at a really good price. Ben White, I think we would get our money back easily now. You mentioned, I mean, Saliba's £100 million
Right,
player now.
Can I ask you something? 45 million, Jesus. He had a year left in his contract. Wasn't a regular at Man City. I'm not aiming at the guy at all. I'm just talking as a Wimbledon fan, let's say. Now, I'm trying to promise you here. I know it's hard to promise. If Arsenal had put between 60 and 65 down for Mudryk, this guy, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, bro. We'd be having the where does he fit in the team conversation. I'm saying sometimes we won't put that money down. Like that's why the Ben White 50 mil was incredible. What was that like? As I thought, was it just personal against Saliba? Laugh out loud. Like I didn't get it because when you really need to put 50 million pound on something, Arsenal won't do it. Like it ain't that much more than Ben White money. I'm promising you. If Mudryk is to be stolen by Chelsea, it won't be that much more than Ben fucking White fucking money. And the 80 million more comes to because we want to do it in installments.
We don't know. And again, this is coming back from what I said in the intro when I came in. Is you mentioned it earlier? Smokescreen. Is it a smokescreen? Are they using Chelsea to help bump up their price? Are Chelsea really interested? You know, that's kind of what I'm saying here, really, and that's why I ain't losing my shit.
No, not yet. Again, neither am I. This is Arsenal. They've done it to me before. They'll do it again.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if we end up without Mudryk, which is annoying, I'd wish Chelsea would just take him tomorrow rather than the whole prolonged thing. If we're going to lose out on him, again, this is number one. We know it ain't good enough. But number two, I'm just saying, like, why is it always the long thing with Arsenal? And I promise you, when it comes out,
I can't answer that, but I can only give you an answer to where we are at this moment in time. And if you're Arteta at this moment in time, you are banging on the Cronky's door and you're saying exactly the same as Danny AFC TV. Listen, there is a league title at stake here, right? You can help me win the league, and if we finish first or second this season, you're actually plotting the next few years and the future of this club, because we're in the big time. So give me the players that I want, right? And if Mudryk is one of them, right, then so be it. That's all I'm saying is that, you know, we're here very critical, and rightly so, because the club have pulled our pants down previously. But where are we right now? We are in the midst of a league title, 8 points clear. Chelsea could get a result tomorrow against City. Gosh, we're in dreamland. I think I just want to quickly say this, because you know, yesterday's draw, as much as it pissed us off, right? And I do agree with you. I think there's fans on both sides that say, you know, oh, Newcastle came and played really well. And I'm with you on this one, that, you know, I think we could have done more to win the game. But let's look at the positive on this, right? Why do you think Arteta never brought anyone off the bench? He's got £35 million Vieira sitting there, Danny. He's got the Brazilian chap, the winger, Marquinhos sitting there, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't he bring anyone on? Is he telling the board that, listen, 0-0 here at home, had we got a Mudryk in the squad, I would have been able to bring him on and it would have made the difference? Is that what the message is? So that's what I'm saying, is yesterday's 0-0, maybe, Danny, maybe a blessing in disguise.
Possibly. Let's do a couple of comments, Hazard, and we'll get straight back into it.
Carry on.
Mudryk is probably right. La 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 la. I think we'll see. And as Hazard did say, Hazard did hit the nail on the head. Sorry.
UE, big up Zed, the better half of the pod. Go on. You know, UE, I just can't understand how much you love me, UE. You really do love me a lot. Thank you. Big up.
It's all love out here. But Dortmund took a risk on Bellingham. Exactly. This is the thing, you know what I mean? And I do get that. Everything is risk, bruv. The 60 million Endrick is a risk. I'll still be broken-hearted right to the end, but I'll get over it if we took a 60, 70 million risk on Mudryk.
Yes, Ljungberg Camp, my guy.
Just
with the league title.
We've got to make 3 signings.
Okay. Well, Ljungberg Camp, who do you think those 3 should be? Okay, we're looking at Mudryk. What do you think? Who the other 2 should be, and which areas? For me, if you were asking me, and I think this is even more important than the winger area, because we've got Smith Rowe coming back next week. I would be looking to strengthen in the party area.
So has that even down to that then? Why is that not happening? Again, the Danilo thing. We registered our interest for months, and I do believe I was one of the first people that reported. You know what? Even though I reported, it looks like it was done at one point.
Good night, Linda. See you in a minute.
I should be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, standard.
I knew we wouldn't get legit. Danilo. I knew the Tielemans thing was bullshit, and we weren't really in for Tielemans.
Danilo's gone quite quiet. Yeah, I agree with you. And I did hear, though, again, just reading tweets, and these were tier 1s, because I generally only read sort of tier 1s. I did hear that Arsenal are looking at midfielders too in this window.
And the way I see it is, it's gone really quiet on all transfer news. We know every agent in the world and everyone likes to get Arsenal involved in everything. And I have searched, I've dug. You know what I'm like? I'll usually on unearth something, or find someone will tell me something. I'll put one and one together, Hazard, and I'll put it on the group. And this window,
go on. Sorry.
It's just looking like the same as last January. We had one plan, supposedly, it was to do Dusan Vlahovic. There is no other plan. I don't believe in even what UE saying here. This guy, There's a load of rumors. Simeone has left him out of Copa del Rey teams.
Today,
I haven't
yeah.
seen it, but apparently when he was asked publicly about Joe Felix, that he was literally just like apparently his facial expression was just like, I don't want no more talking about this guy. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So going on everything we hear, this guy will be available. Now, again, I'm not saying he is a solution or he is an answer. I'm just saying, even down to that, I don't believe there's a plan B for Arsenal in this. I don't believe we're really interested in this guy, Felix, unless it was a giveaway, gift wrapped in a fucking.
Yeah, well, Atletico need to reduce their demands because, I mean, what they're asking for, you could bloody sign a player for that amount, for the loan amount they're asking. He ain't that good, let's be honest. I think what realistically answers your question, what I reckon is going to happen, Danny, is you're going to have, I think Mudryk will get past the line, and I think that will probably happen in the next few days. I really think that we're aiming to get that done before the Spurs game, right? And I think there'll be another signing. I don't think it'll be Joe Felix, although the tier ones are saying Joe Felix and him. I don't think it will be because I think they're very similar players. Not similar, but they're same kind of position. And I think there'll be one more signing, right? Because just as my guy Zed says, is bringing in Mudryk will allow Martinelli to be played as a centre backup striker. I think he'll be playing Nketiah first, but then what he'll be using Martinelli in is a 9 role as a backup until Jesus is fit. And I think the other signing will be a midfielder.
Here's my prediction.
Yeah.
Here's my prediction. If and shouts out to Juma Justin as well.
Go on,
If
Juma.
we
My
can get
boy, salam, brother.
I believe we've got one player and one player. We've got one plan. Our plan is just to get Mudryk done. If God is with us, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe we want a central midfielder because, again, and I reckon who's told me this today, it's very reliable. We've been offered Tielemans today for something really between 7 and 9 million. Take him now. He wants to go to you, kind of like a Mudryk situation. He wants you, blah blah blah. Yeah. Arsenal, from what I've heard, have rejected this. For me, that means we don't want him, or we're plainly waiting to the summer. Danilo, we didn't really want. Yeah. If Arsenal are to get a second player, guys, it will be that typical surprise one. There's a lot of talk of right backs, and Arsenal have been linked from Denzel Dumfries to that Freshenda, but he's now been linked with Newcastle today, and that's even on Sky. Apparently, that's gathering a bit of race, 30 million to Newcastle. There, Ivan Freshenda, his name is Real Valladolid. I reckon we'll do something mad. It will be just a position we didn't expect. It will be a defender or a backup. We'll do something dumb if there's a second player. What I'm saying is, we've put our eggs in one basket. What, like Hussein said, don't. It's going to be Mudryk. And if something gift wrap comes, like a cheap alternate, a cheaper, like the agents of Felix fix up and say, you know what, you can have him for 6 months for this much. 10 million,
that could happen.
Then maybe something else could happen. But what I'm saying is, I think there's one plan and that's it. But unfortunately, I believe if the plan A doesn't work, Arsenal ain't going to panic. I think we'll leave it as it is.
Could be, yeah.
And I think, that won't be the good enough bit. Because again, come the end of this year, it's going to be all that, well, what if we did this? We were fucked in January.
Well, if they don't do anything, then I'm joining your band here and I'll be like, well, actually, you didn't sign anyone. And if we didn't win the league, that's probably what cost us. I'm not necessarily going, if we didn't sign Mudryk, we won't win the league. I'm just saying, if we didn't sign anybody, we didn't.
Hold on, we're not the people. Me and you, with respect, ain't the people that we decide. We might want Mudryk, we might want Felix, yeah? From everything we're seeing and blah, 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 it looks like it is just like, again, Bubs, all of these, whether it's the Sun newspaper down to, we could call it the Mail, and all the internet fucking grade A's, Gracies, whatever.
Yeah? Not.
Yeah, of course. But no one has really said, again, we're linked with this one, that one, or the other one. And there's a reason for this. Arsenal seem to have, again, we're pointing towards Mudryk, and nothing else seems of an urgency.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything, Danny, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening because we know that remember Vieira just come out of the woods. Sometimes there's negotiations. I think, look, the way these clubs work, Danny, is they're trying to be very clever. There's stuff that will always be in secret and we'll never know, right? And sometimes you'll hear about it months or years later. And there's stuff that they want you to know and they want to occupy your thinking with. Right, and I think Mudryk is one of them because look at us as fans at the moment. let's be honest, none of us knew who Mudryk was last a couple of seasons ago, right? But this kid he's been climbing the ranks, and he's been a good player for a little while. And then there was that game against Scotland where Ukraine played Scotland, and apparently he smashed it there. None of us knew who this kid was. Let's be honest here. But because we've all watched the YouTube videos and we're all hyped by it. The
Hold on,
fact
I'll be
the
honest.
club are kind of controlling our emotions here, because all of a sudden Chelsea look like they're in the race, and we're all going, "Oh, what a bunch of losers! We can't even." Do you know what I mean? So we've got to be
Hold
careful
on, it
with.
sounds like to me on this one. I remember talking about Mudryk a hell of a long time ago, and then I remember saying, I think it was to Manny when I was like, I'm going to watch every single Champions League game of this guy. And then I started doing a little update on Mudryk after every Champions League game. I don't know if you remember any of them. I watched all of these games, and I kind of decided on that because it was me that first flagged up. You know what, Has this guy's played like less than 40 games in his life?
Yeah,
In
he did.
fact,
Yeah,
he's only had 2 seasons in the Ukrainian fucking Premier League. And their league only seems to be like 14 games long or fucking something stupid.
yeah.
But hold on, Has. Here's the thing. And I've already told you, I reckon he'll go for about 60, 62, 63 mil, yeah?
Yeah.
They're holding out for as much as they can get because, yes, as they say, you know what I mean? He's a fucking brilliant talent.
Can I ask you a question though on that, Danny? Can I ask you a question? Do you think he's worth 88 mil?
Nowhere near. But hold on. But here's the flip side for you, bros, yeah? Right? If Arsenal really don't want the Tillemans, 8, 9, 10 million pound bargain deal now, or whatever, then what is the grade up? We know Bellingham is the grade up. But again, if you go on Google just right now, who is interested in Jude Bellingham? I'll be ever so surprised. Just Google it randomly if you like. I bet you my channel almost. Not really. But yeah, you won't see Arsenal's name linked with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just an unrealistic signing for Arsenal. Everyone knows it, down to all the grade A's, grade B's. Some things is just 1+1, Hazard. I've told you before, a lot of things I've guessed, and sometimes the guesses can go right.
Sometimes, Danny, you can't be out there because the thing is the clubs know. It's all about what happens in that window now. Now, you're right. I think the best chance, the best team of getting him is probably Man City. And that's probably because he's guaranteed more success there at this moment in time. He'll be able to compete for the Champions League every season, and certainly the league title for the next few years, certainly while Pep's there. But the question is does that mean Arsenal can't get him?
I didn't say you can't, but hold on. I don't want to get off my point here. So sorry, Has, because there's a reason I'm leading you into something here.
Go on.
So you just said, is the geezer Mudryk worth 88 million?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this back to you, yeah? So is Jude Bellingham worth 130?
Yes. Well, probably,
okay, wait. Now,
probably in that region of 100 and 120. Yeah.
Oh, all right, fine. So hold on. I'm going to remind you, and I don't want to compare the two, but hey, you know what I'm like? I'm down here AFC TV. I've already flagged my one major problem with this fucking Jude. Yeah? He's never played one Premier League game. Yeah? He smashed it in Germany. I can tell you another English geezer that done this less than 2 years ago and then got an 80, 90 million pounds move to Man United, and we all know the rest.
Yeah.
So like what UE said, everything is a fucking risk. A guy that's not played one English game, whether the fuck his passport is English or not, bro, at 110, 20 or 30 fucking million pound is a huge risk.
It's about weighing up that risk though, isn't it?
Okay, and Arsenal weigh up that risk. He's played in Germany, so did Sancho. They don't want a bit of it, bros, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
There you go. Arsenal weighed up that financial risk, bros. Like you, I said, you're very calm. Like, I mean, you should work for the Arsenal board. Arsenal have done that financial risk. They've looked at Jadon Sancho and thought, you know what, Jude, you look pretty from afar. Mwah, we love to look at you. Girls like you as well, but we don't like you.
Yeah.
That's too much of a risk for Arsenal then, bro.
I think the talent that I see in Bellingham, though, is and this is again just subjective, just the eye test as you call it, yeah, is far more superior than the Mudryk.
Hand on heart. What did you think of everything that you see of Sancho? That you see?
Yeah, he was good. It's a very good example.
How about for England internationally?
It's very good. I didn't really watch him much for England because I don't.
I know, you know, I hate international football. I'm all right, so I'm lying. I'm going on hearsay.
For Dortmund,
I'm going on hearsay. How did we hear he was performing for England though?
Yeah, I think he was performing well. Yeah, he went to the Euros, didn't he? So
Yeah,
clearly he was good enough to be selected. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. But then you've got to remember for United. I mean, this is just a slight caveat to the point. I'm agreeing with you, by the way. But
Mm.
let's be honest. Since he's been at United, he's not really been with a really class coach, though, as he's not really been coached well. I mean, you could argue that since I think, what did he came with Van Gaal, didn't he, initially? Which it didn't work out too well. And then obviously he hasn't really had a coach since Van Gaal
Right.
had proper.
Rashford wasn't on fire last year. He's got 15 this year. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's doing fine
and
under Ten Hag.
and I'd say that's got something to do with the fact that he has got a fresh new manager
Uh-huh.
and a good manager. That's why I think he's getting the best out of Rashford.
Right,
Yeah.
cool. Jadon Sancho has got the same fresh new manager. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, isn't he away? Is he losing weight as well, or something like that? Or I think there might be some psychological block there. I don't know why Sancho's not, but certainly I would believe that with a good manager, Sancho will come good.
Cool.
I'm not saying that Sanchez is. I mean, there's talent there, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? There's talent in all of these players, right? What I'm saying is that all these things are subjective because it's not always just about the player and the manager. Sometimes about the team, about the system, about the chemistry, the language,
Oh, hold
the
on, and you've
culture.
got a point again. Do you know what I was leading? It's what me and you have been saying all day. Everything is a risk.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah.
you were the one that was honestly saying, "What the fuck? This is a risk." And then you asked me the question:
No.
Is
What I'm
88
saying,
million?
what I'm saying is in my opinion, 88 million is far too great a risk to pay for a relatively untested player like Mudryk. But as I say, you asking me comparison with would you take a risk on, again, just from the eye test? I would take a greater risk on Bellingham from what I've seen. Like watching him play for England, for example, against quite good teams. So that's the point of what I'm trying to sort of make here is that I'm not saying don't take a risk, otherwise why even enter the transfer market? I'm saying that the club believe he's worth around about 60 odd million with some add-ons on top of that, which takes it to just under probably 70. Yeah.
I think
I'd
if Arsenal come with that attitude, Hazard, I think the deal would be done already.
Yeah,
I think the deal would be done.
and I think it will be done at some point, right? But what I'm trying to say to you is that he ain't going nowhere for 88 million.
Nowhere. That's what I'm saying. No one will do that.
Yeah.
No one will do that, bros. So a lot of this is invented bullshit, and
Look
they're
at
telling
Gakpo.
my screen about Jack Grealish.
Gakpo went for 39 million, Dan.
Who?
Cody Gakpo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Again, if you look at him, he's actually older and more league experience, Europa League experience. Obviously, Mudryk's played in the Champions League, so you wouldn't necessarily compare that. But what I'm saying is, he's got a few more years under his belt, but he's gone for 39 million. That's probably what he's probably worth, isn't he? Really,
Well, let's see again, and congratulations then for Liverpool for acting fast on that. Because if you remember, Man United had sort of agreed a similar sort of fee with PSV to get
That's
Gakpo
right.
in, but then they backtracked and went for what they thought was the better player.
Yeah.
Anthony, and paid a fuck of a lot more. Yeah.
And that's another example here, isn't it? When you're talking about risk, and it's probably early days to rate Anthony, but they've paid something like 80, 90 million for him, right? And I know Man United are going to pay their normal Man United tax, but he's not exactly hitting the ground running, is he?
So hold on, and again, so this is what I mean. Certain things are a risk, yeah.
Look at Grealish. Look at Grealish, for example. Grealish is a £100 million player. Is he putting the goals and assists in to justify that?
Well, again, I really do believe I think it's a different fucking question for a different day, because again,
but you know what I mean? Like, all these things are subjective, aren't they? Really, none of us have got the right answer here, right? This is all opinions. It's all subjective, and the proof is in the pudding. But one thing I will tell you is that we've got a bloody live example of paying over the odds for an average player in Nicolas Pepe. Right? We absolutely lost it. The club at the time lost it, and actually we should have, as you said earlier in the stream, we should have probably been looking at Wilfred Zaha and put more money down for him, because he's a Premier League proven player. He loves Arsenal and supports the club, and he probably would have. We wouldn't be even having this conversation today if the club
And
had
who
this
else reportedly, even though he's not English like Wilfred Zaha, and I bet Mudrak, if he's got any kids, I bet his kids doesn't run around in Arsenal shirts. Just saying. But who else reportedly loves Arsenal and blah blah blah?
Yours
I just see
truly.
certain similarities sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying is he's absolutely correct when he says that every transfer is a risk, right? But some are more risky than others. And I'm not saying this isn't a risk. I'm saying from what I've watched of him, and you've probably seen more of him than I have, right? He is a great player. He's, ruthless. He's pacey. He's got all the attributes for the Premier League, on the eye test again. And obviously, the club have done their studies around it, and they feel that he's the right fit. But the club is not going to be bullied into paying 88 million pounds just because some tin pot
Bastard.
club like Chelsea comes and starts meddling around. We know what Chelsea's level are. They're a fraudulent club. This Tim Bowley, whatever the dude's name is, right? He don't know ball. He's basically what he's doing is he's piggybacking off um, other clubs and seeing where. I mean, I think weren't they linked to Alexis McAllister the other day just because he's had a good work. It's literally their PR team that are going overtime and going, oh, you know what, he looks good. Oh, Arsenal like him. Let's link it. Let's just drop a few nuggets to the press. And then all of a sudden, people like us, we're getting emotionally flipping struck and going, oh, Chelsea are after our player. How shit are we? How dare we? How come we don't pay £5 more? Nah, guys, you've got to look at it a bit differently. The guy wants us. He knows his ball. He knows that the moment he steps onto that carpet, he's going to have 60,000 fans shouting his name because we've been groomed to love him already. Just what he's put on social media, Danny, alone, we love him.
Of course.
We will love him.
And I love him just for that, because
For that.
this will take the bullshit away from Arsenal. Because if Arsenal was ever planning, they do some kind of flop, a pretend fucking Escobar, a £90 million Thomas Lamar bid, you know what I mean? We tried, guys, but we just couldn't do it. That's gone out the window because Mudrak here has fucking put it in alphabetical letters. I want Arsenal, for fuck's sake.
Hello, Hans. How you doing, my brother? You okay?
Sorry, yeah, you
Hans
know that. Let's get into a couple of comments.
Do some comments in it, because you know Hussein Juma, he's just hit the 2 comments of the evening, bruv. You
all right, cool. So let's get into the comments. Hold on.
Comments
Look at Sasado and a striker. So let me tell you about Sasado. Again, it's the same thing I'm saying to Hazard, Lumberkamp. We went to Brighton, and for me, this is nothing personal on Ben White. We kind of overpaid. Like, he wasn't an international. He wasn't. Look at his history. Like, he was on loan at Peterborough not that long before he made it at fucking Brighton, and Leeds just a season before that. He wasn't that great. For some reason, Arteta, the board, and everyone sanctioned a £50 million move. Again, it's hard to prove, but I guarantee you, no, Mudrak isn't worth 88 million. I've looked at all his stats. They all disturb me. But again, Jack Grealish, 100 million. Sometimes just players cost a lot of fucking money. Do you know what I mean? And if you just look at Mudrak, if you take the time, pick any game you like this season, because he's only played about 15 in the Ukraine League and 6 in the Champions League. Pick 2 random games, one from the Champions League, one from the Ukrainian League, because I've done that. I Googled it, and I watched all the fucking 90 minutes. The geezer is class. Unless I just Googled the 2 and picked on the 2 games where he played fantastic. Yeah? The geezer frightens people when he gets on the ball. And certain times when I classically say Felix will get beat up in the fucking Premier League. This guy, not because he's come from a war-torn country or anything, he just doesn't look scared of anything. He just gets the ball and he runs at people.
He looks a beast, doesn't he?
He just runs at people. And you know what I mean? That there alone, everything about his feet scares me. But I reckon it's 60, 65. And listen, if Jude Bellingham's worth 130, I think this geezer's worth 60, 65 million. None of this add-ons talk, la, la, la. If you're like, theoretically, if you're like Chelsea and just do deals properly, quickly and done, if Chelsea get him, I reckon it'll be, again, 60, 65 cash. None of this add-on bullshit. And this guy does look good. Hanyumi is talking about him. Good evening to Juma. Good evening to everyone in the chat. And again, Salcedo, Liverpool like him, Chelsea like him, bruv. And listen, when teams like him, Brighton won't be mugged off. It'll be more than 50 million. Arsenal will then stutter. This is what I'm saying. That's why the Ben White actual deal surprises me so much. We could have needed a central midfielder for 50 million, in my opinion, and just took Saliba home. That's what I'm saying. The club just confuses me. We discussed earlier, a player is worth what you're willing to pay. Doesn't matter what we think. Most definitely. Do you know what I mean? And again, if Mudryk is the only guy that Arsenal want, whether they think he's worth 30 or 40 million pound, if Chelsea come in, that means there's going to be inflation automatically anyway. Step aside and let the big boys like Chelsea deal with it, or man up and go get the guy.
Yeah, look, I see Yui's point on that one, but Danny, the thing is that as a buying club, it's like when you go in and buy a house, right? You know, you put an offer in what you think is reasonable, don't you?
Of course, and I think that's what Everton or someone did right at the end of the transfer window. When everyone started, when I first started mentioning Mudryk, Everton at the end of the last window put like a 34 million bid in for him, and they rejected it. Word on road is that they wanted like 40 million. Then the rest is history. He had a good season this year and had a few good Champions League games. Bigging up Hank Yumi, real one. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, Hans, a real one.
See you being Catholic. Hold on, what? Chaotic heat on Twitter about the tickets tweet. Babs, go and look how many fucking impressions, views, or whatever I got. It's ridiculous, bros. People are fascinated by me. Only if this channel got quarter of that attention, bros. Chelsea is just disrupt the window. They are willing to pay because they have a deep pocket. And and again, bros, financial fair play and everything will get involved, bros. But again, being smart and they've bought the whole market before. Where they're not like Arsenal, they'll struggle to get rid of their youth or a Pepe.
Can I reply to that as well, Danny? Can I reply to that as well? Sorry to interrupt. Juma, you need to rewind to earlier in the stream. You know, Chelsea are walking around like they've got deep pockets, right? But if you look at the information that Fabrizio Romano has shared today, is a lot of what they're doing is PR. They're putting it about that we're going to break release clauses, we're going to pay over the odds just to push everyone out of the way. But actually, Juma, when they come in and sitting down at the table, they're being even more scroungers than we are, fam. Right? That's the game they're playing at the moment. And look at just do some research into the Enzo Fernandez deal. Right? A few days ago, we think that's happening. Fabrizio's reporting today, no deal.
Well,
sorry.
I still think it will go through. I think they seriously want him, or they will go and try and get a Salcedo, Declan Rice, whatever. There'll be a plan B at Chelsea. There always is. Do you know what I mean? Or they'll throw money at something. I'm not agreeing with what they're doing or whatever, Hazard. I'm just saying sometimes you've just got to do. If something ain't working, you've got to fix it. Do you know what I mean? And on to this one, Zuma again. It won't go to 88 million. This is just what their fucking idiot of an owner wants, yeah? Again, bros, he'll go to the highest bidder. And if Chelsea fancy to fuck with Arsenal and throw in a 62, 63 million bid and they accept, it's over to Arsenal, bros. So this one shouldn't go on as long as Dusan Vlahovic and all that, bros.
Listen, what will happen there is Zinchenko is talking to him as well, right? We're talking to his agent. He wants us. We're going to go back to him and we're going to go, listen, what's all this Chelsea business? The agent's going to say, don't worry about that. It's just breeze, right? He wants you. You're going to have him. Just negotiate the fee that everyone is happy with. Chelsea, I don't even think they're on the pitch. Seriously, guys.
Chelsea can decide, though, if they're on the pitch, though, bros. Like with Enzo Fernandez, they've only just kind of backed up because the team got silly with them. Do you know what I mean? Look, they've already completed 3 signings this summer. Did you know this window? Did you know that?
Who's that? Sorry.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
They've got that David Fofana.
Yeah.
Santos, the Brazilian kid.
Yeah.
And Badiashile, whatever his name is.
That's
quite a quick start in a window, bros.
No, but has that been actually signed and sealed?
Yeah, bros, they're done. All of them are done. Trust me. All of them are done, mate.
Yeah. So you're right.
First. Badiashale's done, and yeah.
Yeah. So Yui's right on that. Anyway, I'll let you do the comments because Yui's made a good point there about Grameres.
See, again, that is a brilliant point. Again, I didn't think 35 million was a huge risk on Grameres. As far as like a 70, as you'd say, risk on Declan Rice, or then a 130 jump to Bellingham.
Yeah, but look, there has to be an argument there. I mean, just because we're talking about taking a risk with Mudryk now, we don't know the reasons why the club didn't go for Guimaraes. We just don't know. I mean, you and I and UE, we're all sitting here watching him play for Newcastle, smashing it. I don't think he had a great game, by the way, last night, Guimaraes. But we're thinking about him as being fitting right into our system and really doing it. But we don't know why the club didn't go. Were they being tight? Was the money available? Were they putting money in other areas? We just don't know. That's
I
the
don't
point,
know.
isn't it?
Again, bro, I believe penny pinching. You know what I mean? I don't know what they thought it'd be a
It
giveaway.
probably was, but you're right. I mean, he's right there. 39 mil, if that was his price, I thought it was a little bit more than that. But if that's what UE says, UE's um, more than likely correct. Is a steal,
And
for
again, I don't want to drive people mad. So with the Mudrak thing, with Chelsea involved or not, because Chelsea are big players, bro. You know what I mean? Only because of this one Fernandez thing, I don't think that's done. Fuck what Fabrizio Romano says. Chelsea have just said, listen, you know what I mean? For the way I've heard it, and I've spoken to a couple of Chelsea fans. You know what I mean? There's two ways we can do this: 70 million cash up front, or we'll do an Arsenal long thing on you. And we're talking, you know what I mean? Appearance based, trophy, minutes on the pitch based, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And Benfica didn't like that attitude. There's still a resolution to be done there. But the thing is, Chelsea will still find a Moise Caicedo, a Declan Rice to go for. I genuinely don't think we will. So I reckon Woodlight will get done. And I think pressure as a motherfucker, you know what I mean? Maybe the board will just see it right and get it done.
Yeah, look, I just don't think we need to just get emotional about this and start going, oh, the club are this and that, right? The club have money, we know that, and they want the guy because this is what the manager wants. We need cover in that area, and I think it will get done. And if it doesn't get done, right, we shouldn't be losing our shit, right? But we should be saying, all right, well, we know we've got a budget of about 60, 70 million. We should be using that money, as Juma says, in the right areas and bringing in players that are actually going to excel our title race this season.
And for me, and a lot of other people would say a central midfielder, the way Arsenal on the board see it at the moment is they've got Oneni, Lokonga, Xhaka, Partey. That's still four. Unless something was to significantly change, I can't see us getting a central midfielder. I don't know what the Douglas Luiz flirting was about. Do you know what I mean? But we were led to believe we wanted Tielemans.
I'm not going into the whole Tielemans debate again.
No way. Wish we'd have bought him. He was interested in him. He was playing in Brazil for fuck's sake. Like Mudrak Hans, we have to take the risk. Again, exactly. A lot of things are a risk. Yeah, Martinelli and Saka will get cold at some point this season. And that's why I think a winger is massively necessary, because the ones we've got there, well, Nelson's injured and I don't like him anyway. And Marquinhos, as Hazard said, he won't even bring off the bench. And worse still, the 35 million. God knows why he won't bring off the bench, unless that's some, as Hazard says, a transfer statement to the board. But again, something's up there.
A load of Twitter people. I replied on Osman Guna's Twitter yesterday about what Arteta, in my opinion, should have done. I had about 2 or 3 other Gunas jumping on me to say, how dare you criticise? You don't know how class Newcastle are at the low block, and they were superior. And you're a Twitter coach. That's what they called me. And I was like, listen, he's got a bench there. He's paid 34 million quid for Vieira. Marquinhos is sitting on the bench, surely for a reason. And they were going, oh, this is the point they were trying to make, is he would have upset his defensive stability had he.
Hold on. All right, and I hear that, because when he started bringing off Tierney, everyone the other day, it all went wrong. I get that as well from these, I call them super dickheads, super fans, whatever they want to call themselves. And I think they're mugs, has
No. Let me tell you what he did wrong there. Let me tell you what he did wrong there, in my opinion. He took off both fullbacks with 20 minutes to go, or a little bit more than 20 minutes to go. That did upset the defensive stability. But are you telling me that a Premier League coach, supposedly as class as him, can't take off one player and bring an attacking player on, or go for a like-for-like sub? Are you telling me that is going to always upset your defensive stability? The way we play anyway, one of our fullback, at least one of them, bloody sits in midfield, right? Yeah. We play 3 at the back basically, and Zinchenko sits in midfield, and that's actually where we hold the stability of the game, the control. What he should have done, in my view, is he should have took Zinchenko off last night. and he should have bought Tierney off, because Martinelli was having a mare on that left-hand side. He wasn't getting past his man. And what he could have done is he could have overlapped Martinelli and whipped balls in. Now, you might argue that Nketiah isn't really got the height, or he's not really a header of the ball, but it was better than what we did in the end. Not bringing anyone on always leaves you wondering. And that's why I was trying to reply to these idiots. I agree with you, these dickheads, right? Yeah. Is it doesn't make me a Twitter coach wannabe, is that he has to try something, and that's why he has to do better. And that's why I said earlier that actually the 0-0 last night might prove to be a bit of a blessing in disguise, because it just puts a bit more urgency on the board.
And again, that's why I don't really believe that. And there's still one or two of my problems still with Arteta. You've made me remind me of Vieira. That was a 34 million risk, I would say, at the time. And I remember publicly saying on my stream, don't know much about him. Could be a superstar. I don't know. But at this moment, I can't remember the players I mentioned. I believe we need this or that. And why don't we put this 34 million and do that?
Yeah, you just said Partey taking him off as well. I mean, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that we have probably more control of a game when Partey is playing. When you take him off, we are not as good. It's factually proven. There's a stat out there of 90-odd% of games that we've won that Partey has played in versus when he hasn't. And so, we do seriously need cover, right, in that area. You're not going to find another Partey out there, but we need to find somebody. That's what this window should be about, is hopefully getting Mudryk over the line and having somebody that's nearly as good as Partey, that's willing to sort of sit on the bench and play.
Well, again, I just know
games.
We'll make a big attempt and a big move again in the summer. You know what I mean? That there for me is just a bullshit story, just to say we're not getting no one else this window. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal ain't really a team that like to spend in January. We see what happened last January. If we get fucking Mudryk, I'm blessing God. And you may be wrong. Bruno Mares moved to Lyon. Who cares? Just we didn't bring him when he went to Newcastle for 35. There you go, bruv. This just Arsenal. Good evening, Luca. Hi, how's the day? It's beautiful.
Go on, Luca.
And Partey off too. See, that's a big point. So imagine if something crazy like Partey got injured or Granit Xhaka got a suspension. Do you know what I mean? Like, things are going to happen. The club are a little bit too relaxed. Listen, happy days. We're going to have to bring a lot of close to the whole stream. But close is, it's not even a negative one. I'm just saying, I think we badly need a central midfielder, but unless we got a mad injury or something. And even then, we probably wouldn't bring in a midfielder. I don't know what it is with Arsenal. We're very relaxed, even if Justin Nketiah up front. Last night, personally, why not bring on your £34 million Vieira guy for the last 15, 20 minutes? Bring off Nketiah, put Martinelli up front, Vieira on the wing.
Yeah, or take Martinelli off, because he wasn't really doing anything, to be fair. He had a bit of a stinker last night. Maybe he's just low in confidence. I don't know, but he wasn't playing well,
And sometimes strikers, when they're great, can have a quiet 90 minutes.
And then Nketiah, to be fair, you talk about taking Nketiah off. He probably had the best chance of that second half, where he turned and struck it, and it just the keeper made a really good save. So, Nketiah's doing all right. What do you reckon?
Again, I was 2-2. You've seen the hate I get just for selling a ticket. Like the hate I got because Nketiah got 2-2. I didn't see them talking to me yesterday on a 0-0. Do you know what I mean? That's when I really need Nketiah to turn up. It's great him scoring a third goal when we're 2 or 3-0 up, Hazard, like he did the other day, yeah? And I know it's unfair of me to say, but we badly needed a goal from this guy last night, in my opinion.
I think the jury's probably still out on him. But I've already predicted on my podcast that Nketiah will outscore Jesus this season.
And even that there for me is a massive problem, because anyway, that's just opened up another can of worms. But is this great God that we got from Man City at such a bargain for 45 ain't even going to score when he comes back, and then Nketiah is going to outscore him? I don't think.
My prediction is more about Jesus coming back, to be honest with you, because as I said to you when we've discussed offline, I don't think Jesus is going to come back firing like I know he hasn't been firing, but we've been winning games because of him.
And Arteta and Edu are two professionals that only had a whole career, and they both played for Arsenal. They should know sometimes shit happens and these things happen, but there's no urgency from what we know to get a striker.
Yeah, well, as Zed has said previously, he thinks the plan is, and I probably agree with him, is that bring a winger in, and Martinelli will probably be training in the number 9 as a backup, and they'll probably fluctuate. You know, when Eddie comes off, Martinelli will be moved into the centre, Mudryk will come on the left.
I hope
If it's
so. I
Mudryk.
can't see it because even last night I would have tried that. It's
That's
never
pretty
been
exciting. That's pretty exciting, isn't it? Though, if you had Mudryk, Martinelli, and Saka as your front
Yeah.
three, not bad, is it?
I'd love it, bros, and that's what I'm saying. Like, again, I don't think he wants Martinelli up front. I don't know what the problem is there, but again, that's another can of worms. Like, I would have tried Martinelli last night there. He's having a bit of a stinker. Put him up front, see if he could do something there.
Yeah. Or even, do you know what I would have done last night? Is I would have even just switched the wings, because what was happening is that you'd have basically Saka was receiving it. He'd have 3 players on him, literally 3 players. I was keeping an eye. Martinelli, he was getting it. He was having 3 players on him, but because one's right-footed and one's left-footed on their opposite side of the wing flanks, if he'd have just switched it over, they wouldn't have been able to corner him, because what you would have had is you would have had Saka coming off the left and whipping balls in that way and running from the outside, right? And you'd have had the same on the other side, and they wouldn't have been able to triple up. Do you know what I mean?
And again, you've just opened up another can of worms. I've been saying this, and I know you've heard it at least once, so please admit it, yeah? How many times have I said, well, there's no point going into Arsenal's 1 to 11 tomorrow because it never changes?
Yeah.
Right. That is a never problem, though. Newcastle, love or hate them, they know what Arsenal's threat is, blah, blah, blah. They know what Exactron Party do. They know what
I haven't got too much of a problem with that, as long as you've got depth on the bench, and that's probably why.
Exactly. And last night, for whatever reason, he wouldn't bring on his depth, whether it's Marquinhos, Vieira, whether he trusts them or not. Well, he fucking signed them, so you know what I mean? And one of them wasn't that cheap. It was Odegaard money, 34 mil. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No, I agree. I mean, we need depth, because then you can switch things up a bit. You know, wouldn't it be exciting, you know, in the next few weeks, if like, gosh, we don't know if Martinelli will start this one. And it's not even just about the starting 11. It's about not letting Martinelli get too comfortable. He needs to see that there's somebody behind him that could take his place. And if they end up paying big money for him, Martinelli, you know what, his game has to, you know,
Saka's game has to rise. Exactly.
Yeah.
It kicks all of them up the arse, bros.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is why I said it wasn't that much of a risk. The 63, 64, whatever I believe it's going to be. Why there 1 minute, Juma? We're trying to get to a punchline here. It isn't that much of a risk, Has. That's why I was saying earlier, you're too calm, you're too casual about it. It's almost like you were spending the money. Like, Robs, we've got to get this done. Forget all the smoke.
But Juma made a point earlier. I'm not sure if you pinned his comment. It's not that it's about my money. It's actually, if you were going to blow such a big amount, it actually takes your transfer funds for the next window, or the summer, or whatever's coming. So I do believe, look, if the player is right, believe you me, I will tell you all that go out and spend whatever it takes if the player is right. But actually, if it's all about the element of risk here, is, you know, you asked about Jude Bellingham, we're talking about Mudryk now, we're talking about, you know, lots and lots of different players that we could be linked to. It's all about what that risk is, and if the risk is right, spend the money. I trust the club at the moment with their recruitment, because the last 3 windows have actually proven me, I'm saying not the January one last year, as I say, but the windows that since sort of Arteta's been in and cleaning things up, I do think that they're getting the recruit. I don't say they've got it right, but they're getting the recruitment right, and that's why, if they believe that he's worth 60 odd million, including add-ons or whatever, I'm happy to go with it. But blowing 88 million on him, I don't think as you say yourself, any team's going to do that.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And again, we could go on for days. I think it's more in the 60 something thing, you know what I mean? And Arsenal just haggle for too long.
And he's probably worth about that, isn't he? Yeah,
That's
this
what
Marcus Thuram looks. He did look good, to be fair, whenever he's come on for France.
And literally, because he's got 6 months left on his contract, the team have said again, like a Leicester Tillemans thing, fuck it, let him go now. 8 million.
What's his worth then? I mean, I don't even know who he's paid
for.
for.
From what I've heard, they're willing to do business right now at 8 million, because they know he wants to leave. His dream is the Premier League. And you know what I mean?
Who does he play for you?
German club. What's it called? Is it Eintracht Frankfurt? No.
Heinrich.
I think it is Frankfurt. Do you know what I mean? And Anyway, I've looked at his record. I think he's played about 165 games. He's got about 60 goals. For me, it was something like I said about to Lung Bergkamp. I wouldn't mind him on a short term. That's why I love the thought of the Felix loan thing. And then you can send them back if they're shit. Marcus Thuram, even buying him at 8-9 million, and that ain't a lot of money. My fear is he'll turn out to be not that good. And never Lacazette. And this time next year, we're going to want him out.
But same conversation applies here, doesn't it? Risk versus reward. If you secure him for 8 million, I mean, Felix's loan will be costing more than 8 million. Do you know what I mean? You'd rather get a player who, you know, at his age will have some resell as well, because you're probably shipping back to France if it doesn't work out. Do you know what I mean? Or
It'll be
wherever.
for free though, because we can't ship Pepe back to France unless it's for free. So that's what I'm saying. I think maybe Arsenal just looked at that and thought to give Thuram a 4 or 5 year
we
deal.
can't ship
And
Pepe
remember,
back to France.
He scored 60 goals in 165 games in Germany. That's Germany. We've just spoke about the Sancho, the Jude Bellingham bit.
Yeah. I can't comment on him. I just know that from what I saw in the World Cup, I mean, even in the final, he came on and played well, to be fair, you know.
I think he was like, not as a game changer, but he definitely, like, you know, like in Nketiah against Leeds that night, come on and open up, rattle things around.
And also, Danny, you know, you're talking about a French squad that is probably man for man have got the best talent in the world right now, right? And probably will do over the next few years. For Deschamps to have that kind of trust in him, and he didn't just come on in the final. He was actually generally Giroud's replacement, wasn't he? Whenever he came on in the games, for their French coach to have that much trust in him, there must be a player in there.
I'd imagine so, but I reckon if Christopher Nkunku and Benzema was around, he would never even got
he wouldn't have got a look in.
But anyway, let's answer a couple of real ones before we close. Thoughts on Felix, Brubs? Again, I don't trust him. I wouldn't sign him for 110 million, but there is something. I think if there's any club, and it's not to do about Arteta, the manager, I think if there's any club that he would suit that style of play, I just do think, but I wouldn't want us to risk anything. Let's just get Mudryk done. But I would say, I do think, given time and love, Felix could be a good player at Arsenal. But I don't know if we'll get that time. But I do like him. And as for Thuram, again, bros, that's like wrapping Lacazette up to a 5-year deal. And then getting 1 or 2 goals a season.
Big up Lacazette, doing well at the moment.
Huh?
Lacazette's doing well in the French league at the moment.
That's his level, bros. French league. That's it. Pepe will start doing well out there soon as well. He's just grabbing his feet again. Not in my opinion, but I think Lego Man doesn't rate his hold up, the link up play.
He's talking about Martinelli, isn't he? Yeah. I think for me, I agree with Yui that that's probably what the thinking is. But I think what Lego Man needs to do is he needs to remember when he played number 9 versus Chelsea season before last. Remember where he scored that goal from the halfway line, right? I understand what Yui's saying in terms of the system and having your back to goal and that kind of player that can hold the ball up, and that's probably why he likes Jesus and likes Eddie Nketiah. But I think what you have to do is, if you're playing Nketiah at number 9, is you've got to face forward, really, and it is all about that kind of front foot play. You know, absolutely. You know, especially if you're bringing Mudryk in, right? You know, I know Arteta's system is very much around bringing the wingers in and the number 9 holding the ball up and bringing in. But I actually think he needs to be given a chance there, Martinelli. I think he'll score goals.
And yeah, I don't think, even though Hazard was painting a beautiful picture of the front three of Mudryk, Saka, and Martinelli, I don't think, God forbid, it would ever happen. You know what I mean? Because he'd rather play Mudryk, Saka, and fucking put Nketiah up front. I don't get it.
He may have no choice. He may have no choice if they don't sign a striker. That is a possibility. Because
again, I would have embraced it.
Nketiah could get injured, Danny. Nketiah could get injured. It's very risky at the moment what we're doing, not having a true backup for Jesus. I mean, I know Eddie's a backup, but do you know what I mean? Another backup, you know, it is very, very risky.
And that's what I'm saying. So if we think, you know that, innit? Only I had a quick side one. But yeah, I wasn't even saying that as a Hazard. That wasn't even a Hazard dig. That was more like just, again, his 200 grand a week and scoring 1 goal a season, bros. I ain't got time for that. So again, even at the £8 or £9 million bargain that it is, And I could be proved wrong if he goes Newcastle, Palace, West Ham and smashes it. But I want a little bit that level higher than Thuram. But yeah, again, like we've just got no interest in a striker because we're not been linked with any. And I know that doesn't mean nothing, like Hazard says. Vieira popped out of nowhere, but feeling as a motherfucker. And if we was to sign a surprise second player, we would bamboozle everyone, and it would be someone defensive, mate. I'm telling you. But I don't know. But shouts out to all the Raw.
Should call it a night then, Danny? Should call it a night?
I do believe so. On a Danny final thought, Haz, if you want to jump out, as I'm saying, listen, my rant is here. Whether you've got it with me and Haz tonight, see, me and Haz have got it all confused tonight. See, we're both batting on the exact same page, real ones, and anyone that could be new in the stream. The thing is, it's like, it's just trying to get that exact point, and everyone meet. Arsenal know the guy wants us, and blah blah blah, different to the Dusan. So this bullshit will be done quicker, Haz. And hold on, Haz, 1 second. Just coming off my stream. I'll call you in 2 minutes, yeah? Coming off now. Yeah, I'm coming off my stream. I'll call you in 2 minutes. Yeah. I'm coming off now. Call you back 1 minute. There you go. So sorry about that. That Twitter hate everything. Everything happens for a reason. And like with Arsenal, as I said, like we laid a few eggs in a basket, like Hussein Juma said. So we weren't going to bring in a striker ever, in my opinion, to upset Nketiah. We guaranteed him minutes, and if Jesus is fit, there wouldn't be minutes to go around for our star Jesus, Nketiah, everything. The plan was always to have 2 strikers this season. For me, that was never enough. I've put that to bed. We want a winger. People could say we want a central midfielder. Again, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a frustrating January. The longer this Mudrak, and I think you're right and wrong in one way. If it ain't done in a few days, we're gonna lose this deal, won't it? Trust me.
I don't think so. I think the player wants to come to us. We underestimate how much power players have these days. He wants us. They're talking to us. We will sign him, and if we do sign him, bloody hell, we're lucky to have signed him because we're talking about a player here on our hands, and he will, in my opinion, change things for us and really make us a stronger team. So yeah, let's hope.
Sorry, he likes the Brighton manager, hence the 2-class manager tweets or world-class manager tweets. But look what even he said about him. Like he didn't even blink. I watched the interview. I caught it live. Like I was like, huh. I heard, what do you think of Mikhailo Mudryk? He just went very special. He'll win the Ballon d'Or one day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's a bit far fetched at the moment. I mean,
bro, that is very far fetched, yeah. But hold on, just for the guy to say that, unless he's fucking a bit dodgy and blowing him or something, bro, which I'm sure ain't the case. You know what I mean?
Or maybe Shakhtar dropped him a few, few euros or something to say. Could you say that in your interview? You know what I mean? Stranger things have happened, innit? You know what I mean?
Possibly, but again, he said that all for a reason. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. We move slowly, and it would be our own fault if we didn't get this done.
Well, no, of course we want it done. I'm just being pragmatic and being real, and let's not do anything silly. I'm sure it will get over the line, and I'm hoping that it gets over the line before the Spurs game because I would love to see him on the bench for that game and coming on. Danny, last question from me. What do you think our next game against Spurs? Just quick prediction. What do you reckon? Just for the hype.
Bros, it is so difficult. We know what happened last season. Thank God Saliba, and I'm going to make this long, sorry. Saliba, Saka are there. Again, Conte, it's last chance saloons. Even his body language now isn't looking right in press conferences.
Yeah, but they played well tonight. They played well tonight.
I know, and Kane as well. And it is always when it comes up against Arsenal. I said a draw before. I want to stick with it, bros. But again, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't get past Newcastle. It worries me.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for a win.
You're gonna go for a win,
yeah. I know, and I won't be as long, but I'll tell you why. The way Conte is playing his football, you can tell it's really, really evident that he's playing his game in periods. Okay, so there's a period of time where they will sit. There's a period of time that they will attack, and more times this season than none, the period of times that they've let teams into the game, they've mostly, other than today, I think today was the first time that they've scored first. If they've generally conceded up to 2 or sometimes 3 goals, right? And I think that's what's going to happen with us. I think that we, in their off period, we will score and we will take advantage of the chances. We've just got too much. We've got too much for most teams we're playing this season. When they have their hay time in a game and they look like that they're going to be firing and coming back, I think our defense will have too much for them. And what one thing that we are is we're probably some of the best game managers this season in the Premier League, and I think we'll manage the game out. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I do think that we'll probably end up winning something like 3-1.
Right, here's my thing. I'm going to have to have one more. I've just remembered, of course, this is Conte, yeah? And he's got that Romero who loves kicking people and blah, blah, blah. Three at the back, yeah?
Mm.
Nketiah ain't ready for that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Nketiah won't score. He'll be snuffed out immediately. And then Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard have to turn up just to pierce that defence. Do you know what I mean? We
And I
couldn't
think they
pierce
will.
Newcastle.
I think they will. I absolutely think they will. And I think Smith Rowe might be fit for that as well. So another option off the bench. We know he loves to score against Spurs, doesn't he? So, I really think he will get us fired up. I think what happened last night, Danny, was look, it happens in every even title winners league season. You're going to get a result like that, right? But on reflection, we didn't lose the game. Let's not get too upset, right? I think we need to get fired back up again. We are really good when we've suffered adversity compared to previous seasons. We lost against Man United. We haven't lost a game since. That's a very good run. He will get them fired up, and we could be. Can you believe this? If we end up beating them at their end, first time in how many years? God knows how many years. We could be putting Conte out of a job.
Exactly. And again, or he could be like last season, making himself that hero again. You know what I mean?
The problem, why I don't agree with you there is that we went there with half a team last season, right? We had Rob Holding playing. I don't think Ben White was fit. And I don't, and I believe there was some, was Smith Rowe was definitely out, wasn't he? And there was another attacker out as well. I can't remember who, but anyway, we weren't our full team. If we have everybody fit that we do at the moment, with the options that we've kind of in terms of our first team, we will play them off the park. I guarantee you that.
I hope so, brothers. And I hope last night then to try and get the end of this. Because I got another 100 questions for you, As I said as well, it was something I've been saying over the last few weeks, mate. Our 1 to 11 is too predictable. And as I said about even why wouldn't they change the wings, Martinelli, Saka, yeah? We're a little bit too predictable. And that little fucker, Eddie Howe, yeah? No Trippier, no one going forward. You stop Saka, 3-man on him, blah, blah, blah. It's boring, but there's teams out there that will stop Arsenal like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not saying that can't happen again. I think
And
probably some of the Twitter warriors last night are right in that they are elite at what they've done there. They've got the best, even a better defense than ours. They're actually got the first best defense. But what it is they came to camp, and you've got to give them props that they were succeeded in what they aimed to do. They weren't there to win the game. They were like, who was it who was saying? Was it Lee? Lee was saying. No, somebody was saying that they just wanted like a set piece or something, or a dodgy corner. I have to say though that we should have had a penalty, at least one penalty last night.
Hold on, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Sorry. Hold on. Chelsea ain't getting Modric. Fans need to chill. And the guy with the purple hoodie on the right is right about our opinions.
Options.
Sorry, hold
Yeah.
on. Too much panic online from last night. We're good, don't worry. Best defense, 11 men behind the ball last night. Mourinho vibes. Okay. And again, what I was just saying to Hazard.
If you're new, bro, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, my bro. Is he new? My guy.
Of course, I've never seen him before.
Yeah, but big up the guy, man.
And Chelsea fans need to blah blah blah. Purple hoodie. Oh, okay. I don't know if they look purple. Top 4 though, guys, quickly. And Yui reckons will get done.
You go first, Danny.
Top 4, most definitely. Like Arteta, that was a calamity and laughable last season.
He wants to know what your top 4 is. So who's going to win? Who's going to be second? Who's third? Who's fourth?
All right. Oh, fuck you. Bruvs, Man United are playing amazing. If they've beaten us already, I'm already scared about playing them now because they're a much better team.
Yeah.
Man City are coming up. We've got Tottenham away. I'm taking everything a game at a time. I'm worried about Arsenal.
Shall I go? Shall I tell you mine? I know my top four. Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, Newcastle.
See,
Chelsea and Liverpool fall outside the top four this season for me.
See, Liverpool for me, they've got Cody Gakpo coming in. This dickhead Darwin Nunes. I know, again, I'm not worried about Cody, but Darwin Nunes.
And Nunes can't hit a barn door. If you put me in that team, I'll score before him.
He's got to score somewhere along the line. I keep thinking Liverpool, they've got to get in the top four. It is a very difficult top four. And if teams ain't careful, like, do you know what I mean? Even Arsenal, you can slip out of this. 2-3 defeats in a row, you could be fucked.
Yeah, I don't reckon so, because I think we're all going to drop more points from now until the end of the season, right? I think a lot of people are looking at this now as, oh gosh, if we lose against Man United, and that we've got the Spurs game as well, we're out of it. Nah, I think City are going to I think City are going to drop points in this next 2 or 3 games of a run. You'll probably find by the end of it we will drop points this little run, but we'll probably still be top by a couple of points here and there. Anything can happen, you know. People talk about United being in a.
People, even I was looking at a lot of people are making, and I don't. Yeah, I like someone being passionate, whether it's Arteta or not. Yeah, some people thought he was losing his mind, and some people even suggesting it could hurt the players on going forward the way he's acting. Yeah, that is definitely again a story for a different day. Yeah, but if this is Arteta rattled or anything, again, answer your own question. Sort of, yeah, do something maybe different. I don't think we're going to win the league, bros. But again, I do believe Man City will drop points. But because Arsenal
so what's your top four then, Danny? What's your top four then?
Arsenal, Man City.
Answer the question, my bruv. So who's going to win the league?
Man City.
Okay, Man City first.
Arsenal second.
Arsenal second, okay.
Chelsea, Liverpool, I think they're going to start going into a massively good run. I really do. You can't sign that many people as what Chelsea are going to do now and not do well.
It takes time for players to bed in, though, Danny. Look at us.
And I'm so sorry. Listen, City, Arsenal, Man U, Liverpool.
Wow, Liverpool making a comeback, yeah?
I think so, bros. They're going to put on a run, bros. And again, Man City, whether it's mind games or Arsenal ready for the whole mind games thing, like it's Ferguson and Wenger time. Look at Pep today. We're going to have to be perfect to catch Arsenal now. He was saying the same shit against Liverpool. We've had to have perfect seasons, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we're listening. I think what we've got is I mean, I like Yui's comments there. You're going to pin them.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it. I was wondering who this
Yeah. You know, the kind of we've got so much shithousery going on at the moment. Everyone's hating on us. You know, the way that he was going on with the fourth official last night, everyone's going, "Oh, how dare he do that?" But that's how you win games. That kind of mentality, that kind of passion. You know, if I'm in the crowd and I'm seeing that, I don't want my manager sitting on the seat. I want my manager going out and absolutely putting pressure. That's how you win decisions at home. Do you know what I mean? You know, so I don't think the mind games are gonna are going to affect us. I think Arteta has got Pep's number. I really do this season. And to you another thing as well. Lastly, I don't think Guardiola is going to be majorly disheartened if he doesn't win the league this season. You know why? I think they're concentrating on the Champions League. I think he wants the Champions League. That's the voodoo's on him, isn't it? You know, since the Yaya Toure thing, and you will never win the Champions League.
I'm thinking when he was giving it that fake speech about we're going to have to be perfect to catch Arsenal. They're amazing. Arteta's amazing. Behind that, I thought there was just a deep lie. This is my child. This is my student. 8 points. It's light work, bitch. I'm coming for you. That was what I read off his body language. Literally, like it was almost like I'm coming for your balls, Arteta. Like, and he didn't even seem scared. The only thing I think a month ago or 2 months ago, he was calm. My team's perfect. I need nobody.
Yeah.
Now, I think they're going to throw money at a Rafael Leao or something. And for me, that's not a panic or anything. You're changing whatever your plans was, because your plans was you were so far ahead and you're better than everyone. You didn't need to buy no one. Now
I don't think
Arsenal,
I don't think they will. I think there's still too much talent there. He might change things up tactically. I think one thing, the weakness that I'm seeing in Man City this season, Danny, is everything is all about finding Haaland. I've watched most of City's games this season, and it's all about him. Give him the ball, give him the ball. But I've seen, I mean, look what Everton did the other night. If you chop off De Burns, um, balls into Haaland, um, generally Haaland doesn't get a sniff. He actually thrives on the service, you know. But easier said than done, I'm saying. But what I'm saying is the old Man City, I say last season, the season before, they were scoring from all different directions. You know, Gundogan would be in. Gundogan scored a number of goals. You'd have Sterling chipping in with goals. You'd have De Bruyne with goals. You'd have Mahrez with goals. Just look at their goal tallies this season. You'll see you've got Haaland with record goals that no one scored ever in the Premier League at this point in the season, and then you've got everybody else trickling on two or three. Do you know what I mean? Here and
yeah,
there. And I think that will be their undoing this season. I think he'll probably get what he wants and win the Champions League, but I think it will be at the cost of giving the league title to Arsenal. Not giving, but you know what I mean.
I think they're a
So,
winger short. I think there's something wrong in the Maras, like you said. You know what I mean? They've lost something with the Sterling goals. Maybe a Rafael Leao or someone will come in. Um, Liverpool ain't getting top four. Do you know what I'm liking about at least what they're doing then, Lundbergkamp? Arsenal could win the league, but we won't sign the two players that me and even Hazard are agreeing on. We need a central midfielder and a striker winger. Well, Liverpool have got the gap though. Do you know what I mean? And they've obviously been turned back by Brighton, we know, for Salcedo. And I don't know if you know, they made a serious offer to Wolves. Wolves only bought this, what's his name? Matthias Nunes recently, innit?
yeah,
The midfielder. Liverpool made a
yeah,
serious offer for him. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And but anyway, that's been turned back to the summer. At least Liverpool are trying to address their problems. If Liverpool did get a Gakpo and a serious central midfielder, I think they're back on in the top four race. I like the pressure Legoman is putting on the side. I love that about him. Need to pressure the refs. Exactly. And that definitely wasn't my problem. Lundbergkamp, big up to you. City, Arsenal, Man United, Spurs in that order. City, Arsenal, Spurs. No Liverpool, no Chelsea. And Chelsea, you know what I mean? They've already signed 3 players. Um,
I mean, look, you know my view on signings, and it's going to be the same for Mudrich, guys. Believe it or not, because we get hyped up because of the names. Signings take time to bed in. You know, it does happen sometimes. Once in a while, you get some signings that hit the ground running, but generally, it's signings from your own league that hit the ground running. There's a lot. We're not just talking about the football. There's a lot that players have to adapt to when they come into a new country. The weather, although I'm sure they're colder than us out there. Um, you know, the chemistry, getting on with your teammates, the food, the culture, just moving. You know, Danny, picture back to when you were 22 years of age, right? And if you had to leave this country and go to a brand new country and start afresh, do you know what I mean? Most man can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Right? You know, so there's all sorts of reasons why players don't hit the ground running. It's not all just about the football. Do you know? Having said that, I still think that he has got the maturity and the attributes, having watched him in the Champions League, that he probably will add something this season to, you know, a few goals here and there. Um, you know, but let's not expect him to come here and you know, win the Ballon d'Or next year.
no, and it isn't about that. And that's a silly comment. What I'm saying is, though, at that kind of money, again, what does 50 million get you? 50 million gets you Ben White, love him, I hate him. I mean, there's, again, like, yeah, that's why I even think, and Cody Gakpo, I don't trust players from Holland. You already know this. But
Yeah, I agree with
I
that
think that
one.
was a
Yeah.
really good price. Sorry, mate, you hear about White Rabbit, you know. Mate, that's a load of games. There's 6 to 8 games to worry about. Fuck me, that's a lot of games, mate. We couldn't beat Newcastle. We're playing them again. You've already noted that as well. Um, Mate, again, that's like the $1 million question. I'm just saying, listen, I think personally, Newcastle come with a plan. Stop Eddie, he ain't that great. Get hard on him and stop the wingers. Tottenham, I
Do
think,
you,
will
do you
come with the
reckon though,
same.
just on that point, Danny, if Newcastle had come out to play last night,
Uh,
do you think the result would have been what it was?
no, I think we would have won. Because when
I
people
agree.
relax against Arsenal and let Odegaard play, give Saka time, give Martinelli time,
Like
we
that
know we
first
make
10
it.
minutes, that first 10 minutes was sublime, wasn't it?
There you go. You know? But the longer it went on, bruvs, I actually see, and again, it ain't the whole Twitter thing and the fascination with my name on Twitter and all the hate over Eddie. Why do I think Eddie's already not going to score against Tottenham? It isn't my hate for Eddie. There's certain games I think he will score when we're fine and 3-0 up. Yes. Against Tottenham, it's three at the back. And then with their two fullbacks. Do you know what I mean?
But Danny, coming back to earlier's conversation, they've been shit defensively this season, Tottenham. They've leaked against various teams. I mean, who was it who put them in a spliff the other day? Aston Villa.
I know. But yeah, I still worry. Even UE's already said he reckons we'll get beat or a draw. Like, I don't know. I worry. I've already said a draw. City,
I'm
Man
quite
U,
confident. And you know what? Well, else I'm confident as well. I know it's affecting both teams, but we'll have a good rest between now and then, right? Both teams will have a rest. I don't know whether Kulusevski will be fit for them. They've got Richarlison that's also injured as well. We should have Smith Rowe. Apparently, they're saying he's going to be ready for Oxford.
hopefully. And where's his role going to be in the team?
Well, he'd have come on if he was fit last night, wouldn't he?
Who said halal weed? Who said that, Hazard?
UE, he said that I was smoking halal weed
Oh,
when I
is it
said
serious? I mean,
Arsenal,
what is that? I
Arsenal
missed
will
that.
win the league.
Oh, I swear I didn't see that.
Don't watch. I saw it.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
see
see it
everything
there now. Sorry.
I see everything UE writes.
But
Internet
hold on,
browser
City Man
history.
United. Pep's cracking up. I don't think so. Hopefully, Chelsea win tomorrow. But again, if Chelsea was to win, all you lot are saying they're not going to be a top 4 team. The more they're winning, winning tomorrow, whatever, they're going to gain momentum, I think. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
Danny, that's like saying Everton beat Man City, right?
And then go and
And
lose 4-1.
then go and lose to Brighton at home.
I get it. I don't know, bros. All right, yeah. I don't know.
It's the
I'm worried.
Premier
I
League,
just,
isn't it?
yeah.
Bruv, it's the Premier League, isn't it? That's what I'm trying to say. But the only consistent team is Arsenal this season. And you could argue that Man United are coming up with some consistency. Um, we've been the best team this season, and the table don't lie.
Yeah, I suppose. All right, on that one, then, as I say, I don't know. My biggest fear is Tottenham are going to come with the same plan, similar to Man U, is trying to stop this Arsenal front three. Do you know what I mean? This is why I think Mudryk is massively key, just to be able to change something up front. This one striker, Eddie Nketiah. Do you know what I mean? And I'm delighted about City having this fascination, like you've said, and now I make White Rabbit now because yes, I hope when they're exhausted playing Real Madrid in quarterfinals of the Champions League, or then Real Madrid or whoever they're playing, or Bayern Munich or whatever the fuck's going on, I hope we're picking up points
That
in the
I will be
fucking
off the
Premier
ball.
League.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. You make a very good point. But then Yui has said this after saying I'm on the weed.
I think it would take Mudryk and a real quality central midfielder because as I was saying, Yui, as you said, if Party comes out and Lokonga or El Neni come on, we look exposed for the last 20 minutes in the game. As positive as we all are, and especially Hazard, no dig, bang, we're 1 or 2 injuries away from a possible disaster. Like, God forbid, I don't trust El Neni. I like El Neni or Lokonga. Do you know what I mean? And as for Tierney and Tomiyasu as well, I'm not worried about both of them because I know, all right, everyone can have a bad 20 minutes in a game, but fuck me, that was dodgy the other night. Man, I don't be stupid to take that. The other day they were talking a swap for Martinelli and this Leo. Then it was another madness. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that actually the only bit that makes sense there. I think Man City want Leo, and I think they want rid of Grealish for whatever reason. Grealish hasn't done it at Man City. They forgot how to play without a striker, but then they got Haaland.
Grealish, high risk, low reward. Remember that.
There you go. There you go. And Pep Guardiola, the wonderful Pep Guardiola, that happened to him. So that's what I'm saying. It can happen out here.
Yeah. But we just don't want it to happen to us. Otherwise, we're
We
talking
don't.
about Nicolas Pepe settings. You get me?
But Rafael Leao has been linked with Chelsea and Man City. I didn't know this geezer before last season, the tail end of the Italian season.
Good player. I like him.
Do you know what I mean?
The Portuguese chap.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Like,
looked
he
good when
wasn't really a regular starter for anything with them. That's what I mean. Like when I
No.
first heard his name, I thought he might have been Brazil. Do you know, Brazilian or something. He popped
Yeah.
up out of nowhere. Like now he's £100 million player. Who the fuck was Enzo Fernandez before the World Cup, Hazard?
This is it. This is exactly what I'm saying. Is he could easily come and flop.
Exactly. How old is he? 25.
I think he's a bit younger than that.
All right. Again, though, do you know what I mean? It's an incredible price tag.
Yeah.
But this is the market, you know what I mean? And again, I don't think Chelsea will take that risk, you know what I mean? Unless the whole world wanted him. Again, we could go round and round in circles, but it's as I'm saying, Mudryk is a massive risk looking at his career, Ukrainian league. But when you look at him, again, just pick one game tonight and watch the first 10 minutes of it. There's just something that bit different about him. How do you explain him? Do you know one of them people, you just shit yourself, they get the ball, you know what I mean? And they just start running at a defender. That's him.
He's 21, Enzo Fernandez.
Okay. Brilliant age, everything. Okay. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not a believer in this whole, you've had a really good World Cup. Never heard of you before then, but, you scored a hat-trick in a game. Yeah, go on, you're 100 million euros all of a sudden. I think there's a lot of hype around that, it's different from the Mudryk situation. He has shown glimpses of world-class talent. I'm not saying he's world-class now. I'm saying that he's shown glimpses of what he can do versus teams like Real Madrid,
Exactly.
Celtic in the Champions League, etc. But he is still a risk. Any signing is a risk, as Yui correctly says. But it's about weighing up that risk. Danny, I'm going to call it a day, bro.
Oh, man.
Would you
I
mind
love you, brother.
would you mind just picking up the All Gunners podcast before I go?
Of course, guys. Go on,
Plug in
take
the
it away,
team.
Hazard, sorry. Take
Yes,
it away.
boys and girls, if you could subscribe to the All Gunners podcast, you'll find us on YouTube. Doing lots of stuff at the moment, doing lots of YouTube shorts. You might have seen them around where we're just doing 1-minute clips on stuff about Arsenal, everything Arsenal. And always big up my guy. We would be nowhere without Danny AFC TV, always supporting us. Big up my guy, always share his videos, like the tings. My guy Danny, all the love to you, my bro.
As respect, you actually really do genuinely big up both of us there. The All Gunners podcast and Danny, you sound so tired.
You're coming on soon, innit? You're coming on soon. You're coming on.
Definitely, brother. But quickly onto this guy. This is what I'm saying. Like again, like oh god, like I don't get it. I mean, you got to pay for a striker. If you went for Mitrovic right now, and I'm not saying Arsenal go for Mudryk or Mitrovic or Ivan Toney, yeah, but bro, they're gonna cost you what 40, 50, 60 million.
Yeah, do you know what it is as well, Danny? With this, I agree with you. Why your Mitrovic wouldn't work, right? Mitrovic is one of those kind of players where your team has to play to him, right? We aren't that team now that when we had Giroud, we probably weren't doing enough of this, to be honest with you. Loading the box with balls from crosses, right? We are not that team, and what we would need to do is, and Mitrovic is a main man at Fulham, right? Is that he would want to be the main man here, and he would be expecting us to play to him. Now that's not impossible. We could play to him, right? He'd score a hat full of goals, but are we going to do it? That's
No,
the
and I wouldn't
difference.
want Arsenal to do a lot. As
Is
you're
is
saying,
he
blah
is
blah.
what's Mitrovic going to go for? He's been the highest scorer in the Championship
Championship.
coming into the Premier League, right? He's not going to come for 20 million. He's not going to
Exactly.
come for 30 million. Fulham have got money, right? They will let him for a king's ransom come. Is Mitrovic, Danny, and White Rabbit, is he going to come and sit on the bench at Arsenal to come in for 15 minutes when we're losing games?
That's it. That's why I've already ruled that out. That's what I mean. Everyone has crazy opinions, and this geezer reckons everything's fine and calm and la la la. But Mitrovic, great player, but again, unproven before. He's had 2 stints in the Premier League, failed twice. He's having a good season now, third time lucky.
Go on,
But
Yui. I'll stay on for 5 minutes more as you asked so
as
nicely.
I said, I was trying to finish it for you before I started sneezing as well.
No, I know, but you know what Yui's liking it with his 5 minutes.
you know that. Mudryk and Caicedo, and we can win the league. But again, I love that, and I believe that. I think we're that short because we need that cover for Partey or Xhaka. But again, Caicedo, Brighton have got money. They bent us over for Ben White. They've already made it clear. No deal to the summer. They've rejected Liverpool. Liverpool have moved on to Mateus Nunes of Wolverhampton.
Yeah. Again, you know, when we just to add on to that, Danny, because Caicedo wouldn't be the only club that we're in for him, and there'll be a bidding war, and he'll probably go for about 55, 60, 65 million. Are we going to do that?
No, I think what the Brighton chairman said. I think he said 45 million bought his boots, and then you know what I mean, maybe a bit of his ankle. So
there you go.
So that ain't cheap.
They can afford to do that because they've sold Ben White for 50 million quid. You know, they've sold Cucurella for
63.
60 odd million quid. So this man ain't coming cheap.
Wimbledon goalkeeper.
And then let me just finally say that right on the Caicedo thing. Again, Caicedo, is he gonna come? Is he displacing Partey or Xhaka in that midfield at this moment in time?
Well, he'll do a lot more than Lokonga, El Neni, or the prospective signing. Hold on. Or the prospective signings of a Tielemans or a Danilo. Hence why I said we need top shelf. The Jude Bellingham, the Declan Rice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's why I'm looking there as well, because those are the guys that would displace your Xhakas. Do you see what I'm saying? We need to aim better. Yeah.
But Caicedo is unbelievable. Again, he's worse than fucking Mudryk. You know what I mean? He's played literally 12 Premier League games in his life, and now he's suddenly worth 70 million, according to reports. Yeah. And they bought him for 3.9 million exactly 1 year ago, last January. Didn't play him for the whole last of 6 months. He's broke into the team at the start of this season. 15, 16 Premier League games. Now he's a 70 million pound player. That is a risk, but I do believe he is potentially better than Partey and Xhaka. Do you know what I mean? He's young. Tottenham, Wimbledon goalkeeper. Just need a physical option who can switch it. Doesn't need to be a star. I hear that.
Just on that, would you take Giroud back?
Of course not.
Linked to Man United yesterday?
Of course not. But they're linked to even Arnautovic, because you know what it is with them? They're worried about their next move. Do you know what I mean? The next striker they get in has to be the one. Like, I don't know. Like, we've all got our own problems.
But they've got no money. They've got no money. United.
And Uni said earlier they heard they got loads, and I've heard they're all right as well.
About what they've got, the club is for sale. So why are the Glazers going to take any more money towards the thing?
Because the Man United fans will just annoy them and start screaming, and then the Gary Neville
talking. They don't give a shit though, fam. They're going. They're done. They're done.
Again, bruvs, I know that's the way they want it to be, but again, it'll take a long time. But Ivan Toney didn't play for Brentford. Did he play for yesterday? Listen, they've brought in a striker today for £20 million, 20-year-old from France. I don't know, from Germany. Sorry, from Freiburg. Have you noticed this, Hazard?
Yeah.
I didn't know Ivan Toney is probably about to get banned, so I think they're preparing for maybe life without Toney for a little while. I don't know the ins and outs of what he's done.
He's probably going to get a lot. He probably won't play this season after the ban.
And I don't think I know. Did he play yesterday?
No.
But there you go.
And I know that because I wanted to select him for my fantasy football team.
But was there a reason why he wasn't in the team?
I don't know whether he's injured or whatever. I think there was something to do with a leg injury or something.
All right, that's what I'm saying. I make that. You know what I mean? I take who? Rashford.
Who's Rashford? Oh, Rashford. Yeah, definitely. All
again,
day. I've been saying this for months, though, bro. Even when he was not in form, he would be perfect for us.
If that's the AC Milan midfielder who we had in our academy. Again, bros, I don't know. I'd rather shop at home. The better one, the Declan Rice or something. Salcedo. I'd rather.
No, I'd have him. The one who's playing for Spurs at the moment, Bentancur.
No, I don't think you're talking about the one at Spurs. I think you might be talking about the AC Milan midfielder.
Yeah, that is the one.
Dude. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's on loan from AC Milan at Spurs.
No, man, there's another one then that sounds just like him.
Maybe that's him then.
Is
I
the
don't know.
Algerian we had, bros? He's playing in Italy, bros. You might be
I
talking
don't know
about him.
about him.
Trust me. 18 months. And that's another one. I'm worried about you. I've heard all madness on the rumours of the Saka Saliba thing. 1 minute they're sitting down talking about their deals. 1 minute I'm hearing the club have executed, the 1 year option like Rashford and Man United. We've done that with Saliba and Saka.
We have.
Well, that's a bit of a worry for me. That there, don't get me started, Hazard, because you'll be on the stream for another 45 minutes.
No, I'll tell you why they did it, but go on.
Hey, there you go. Told you. My man will come in and save me. Told you, Algerian guy, the one that plays for us. They just sound alike. They just sound alike. There's one at Tottenham, Ben Concur or whatever, and then there's the
I thought you were talking about him. I was talking about.
Yeah, no. Then there's the one that used to play for Arsenal.
I'll tell you why there's nothing to worry about on the extension of those contracts on both of them. Is there was a deadline for the 31st of December to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to extend them. So it's a no-brainer. They haven't signed new contracts, so they took the option, which was always going to happen. So, had the contract been dealt with before then it wouldn't have mattered. But the deadline was the 31st of December, hence why they've done those extensions.
And there's a problem before that, which I flagged up obviously ages ago. As soon as Saliba comes home, if he bangs, he's got 2 years in his contract and counting. But again, that's another can of worms that would have to open up as. And I don't want to do that to you. To be on here for another hour.
Yeah.
Again, why have
Arsenal? Another day, and it's another day.
And I've heard other madnesses, yeah, and it is both of them, but apparently it's coming mainly from the Saka camp, yeah. If there was a long-term deal contract to be signed, there has to be certain assurances. Do you know what I mean? And obviously the rumours will come out what they could be. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's get out clauses or we're not doing well in a couple of years. Tony back next game, okay. Ban hearing is still a few games away.
He's on about Tony, innit?
Yeah.
Is my Wi-Fi bad?
It was for a minute there. That's why a minute ago I goes, you either sound tired, and then for a minute I goes, you still there, Haz? Because you just
I'm right next to the router though, still right next to it.
Yeah, it happens, bro. You should see my stream the other night, bro. I got fiber optic, everything, bro. You would have thought I was on the ground, bro. I've never seen a stream so bad. Mudrak and Torres this window. Barca need cash. I think Torres happens again with Torres. Even though he did look all right at Man City, I got my suspicions out. Whether it's why he left Man City, why did Pep let him go, why he hasn't banged at Barca, even though I know it happens to players. I don't know.
Would you argue that he's not banged at Barca because?
Hold on. Let me just answer this properly. I already said that. The Algerian guy at AC Milan, I got it right. And my brother Yui already confirmed it. I know who we're talking about, brother. And I know he did play for our academy. I know this already. What's your point? I've already just said he ain't my cup of tea. Makes sense to do the first year. Just gives them time to chat. Again, for me, I don't know. Again, as I said, there was a deadline. For me, I would have wrapped both of them because this ain't just Fabio Vieira or fucking Rob Holding you're talking about or El Neni Lokonga. We're talking about Saka and fucking Saliba, mate. Wrap them up to deals.
And that's true what Yui's saying about Rafinha in the next comment, that look how hyped we were at the beginning of that window, innit? Where, Rafinha's coming. He ain't sitting. In fact, to be honest with you, when I watched every Brazil game, and he wasn't very good, Rafinha, for Brazil. I could not understand why Rafinha was getting into that team over Martinelli, right? And I couldn't even understand in that final game where they got knocked out by Croatia that Rafinha, who's missing all of these chances galore, Martinelli never even came on.
Being an Arsenal fan, I thought that. But then when you look at it closely, a lot of people are slagging off. And I'm trying to help you to get off this stream. It's almost 2.5 hours long. But Darwin Núñez, you kind of said something about him. He can't score. Bro, he's brave. He gets about 5 opportunities a game. I don't know. It must go in for him somewhere.
I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that it won't come good for him. I'm just saying at this moment in time, he isn't hitting a barn door, is he?
No. But with Rafinha, though, he didn't go to Barca for no reason. And this is just a Barca thing. Do you know what I mean? Barca just fuck players over sometimes. They go there and, you know what I mean? You never hear of them again. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I wouldn't say Rafinha's shit because of that. That's just a Barcelona thing, bro. Do you know what I mean?
But who would you have, Rafinha or Mudryk?
Mudryk, most definitely.
But
just watching him live, I was just
played and
took away
proven
from
in
it.
the Prem, though, innit?
Most
Rafinha.
definitely. And as for Rafinha, do you know what I mean? I was always a bit 50-50 on him, but he is in that Barca team for a reason. He is in the Brazil team, whatever for whatever reason. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Should we call it a day then, Danny? I'll give you
I think
5
it's
minutes.
right.
Given you 5 minutes, Yui. So you know.
Saka Martinelli 220k, Saliba 180. Well, bruvs, obviously again we wouldn't be extending 1 year options if they were done deals, isn't it? Torres was homesick, so why come back to the Premier League? You know what I mean? He might get homesick again. Whatever. I don't trust him for whatever reason. Maybe because he got homesick then.
Yeah, he'd get homesick again, wouldn't he?
So many options, zero excuses to sign nobody. That is certain. And that's what I mean. I do agree, bros. But I more agree with just get that one guy you got the feeling of. And feeling as a motherfucker, it seems to be Mudrak. I accept that as well. Sending these as you're chatting about it. There is no more. Maybe a minute ago. I have no idea. But Hazard, all right, cool.
Big
Guys,
up the people.
yeah, you know that. Big everyone. Hold on, Hazard. What's your.
Yui does this. Yui keeps doing this, fam.
I know you gotta love UE for that, but again, UE again, it's all too obvious. There is no change in the Arsenal team, and that's what I said. That's why I worry again. Whether it took 2 hours to get this point out tonight, guys. Seriously, maybe I feel high or something. I could see it coming. Like I could see this long thing from Woodrat coming in the window, guys. Sorry, and Haz, if you want to just jump out, because I want to get this point out one way. I could see this coming, and Newcastle came with a plan last night, as dead as it was, but they got the job done because they calculated 1 point at the Emirates. The best team in the league, as I said so far, which is right, is not a bad point. Do you know what I mean? But for Arsenal, I believe it was a bad point.
I'm going to answer this and then chip then, yeah, Danny.
Go
Very,
on.
very simple. I'm going for exactly the same team that played against Newcastle. I'm going for Zinchenko instead of Tierney. And you know, it's very, very simple answer. I ain't gonna name you the bloody. I don't know 26 players for the bloody 2026 England team. So you know, listen, big up the man, them. Yeah, thank you very much, Danny, for having me on. It's been a blast.
Respect is always Hazard. Seriously, we're gonna have to do this again.
Definitely.
Unless before, but the end of the January, innit? That's what I'm waiting for. Me, Hazard, the end of January.
Listen, I'll jump on when we sign Mudrik, innit? I will
There
jump
you
on
go,
then,
guys.
yeah?
There you go, brother.
Inshallah, very soon. Inshallah, soon, this week.
Bros, that's it. Hopefully, bros, in God's word, because I tell you, the longer it drags on, once, hold on to move to sliding Zinchenko Gal. I wonder who this is. Most possibly, bros. But again, bros, it hasn't happened, man. Arsenal got to put the cash on the table. Shouts out to all the real ones in the chat. Hazard, you're a real
peace
one.
and love to the real one, yeah? Take care, guys, yeah?
Shouts out to you, right? Rabbit, UE, respect, Lumbercamp, everyone that has been in the chat. Guys, I'm going to give it a quick 1 minute final thought. My final thought is, listen, we're 8 points clear, top of the table. As well as I do think Man City can drop points this season, I do think we're going to drop points. That is my biggest worry. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to get depressed and all emotional about Newcastle, but yeah, Newcastle was the warning. They came with a plan, and it wasn't the greatest plan. It was just stop Arsenal. We'll take a 0-0. And if everyone has this attitude against Arsenal, I think we'll come up a cropper, bros. Everyone starts just jumping on Saka's back, Martinelli's back. This is why I think we need a way to change the way we play sometimes. Have a Mudrak to bring off the bench. Shouts out to you, Long Bergkamp. That's why we need to have a Mudrak to bring off the bench. You know that, innit? That's why you got to love UE, and shouts out to UE on that. Even down to Wilfred Zaha. Look at the people on free contracts. Where we think we've got Indika in the summer, leaving Indika. We could never have wanted Tielemans because we've been offered him. I've been told by a very good source today. We've been offered Tielemans cheap as chips. We didn't get it done. Do you know what I mean? Wilfred Zaha, he's an Arsenal fan. We could get it done cheap as chips, but we don't want to get it done. Shouts out to all the real ones in the chat. I'm going to keep it moving. UE Masterclass, you know it. Newcastle Gust still being the best. Yeah, man. Shouts out to Newcastle. Fuck that guy. I can't believe he said it was going to be a draw, man. He come on to jinx Arsenal. We actually got a draw. Hazard, man, come back on, bro. Shouts out to the real ones. I'm actually going to duck out as well. I was just trying to have my final thought. Why, man. Newcastle United, man. But guys, seriously, as I said, we need to get this done. I don't believe there is no other players coming in. We're fine with the central midfield. I don't believe in anything. The players that are higher level, we can't get. The Salcedo, the Declan Rice, the Jude Bellingham. And then there's that normal average player, the Tillemans. I don't even want them, bruv. The Douglas Luiz. Fuck him as well. Most definitely. All right, guys, I'm out the stream. Peace and love and respect to everyone. Danny Saliba making me a bit nervous, you know. Thought he was a little shaky yesterday. Bro, it was 0-0. So I don't know. Again, bros, I think that nervousness sometimes comes with the team. Saliba is the least I say of our problems. Trust me. But I'm going to get out of it, guys. Please get a big like on the video. My phone is ringing, buzzing out of control. He needs to game quick. I think so, bros. But as I say, the team need to gel back together. Saliba is young. He did come from France, with all respect. Do you know what I mean? For everything he's done this season, I think he's been fucking unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? Literally. And it was a 0-0. My problem with last night is we couldn't break Newcastle down. Man United will come with the same sort of attitude to the Emirates. Tottenham at White Hart Lane will have the same sort of attitude. 5 at the back. Everton striker. Roy Wegley, QPR, and Roy Wegley. John Collins, Celtic midfielder. Did he go to Everton for a little while? Bigging up the man them. Sorry, UE. I'm going, you know, my phone's all ringing out of control. I am going to get out of the place though. Bigging up all the real ones. Rodney Wallace, let's not go there with him again. Shouts out to Craig. Mod time. But real ones, I'm out the building. Please get a big like on the video. Please share and all the rest of it. Man, let's just hope this goes right. The whole Arsenal, Dion Dublin, Coventry, Man United, everyone. Ian Wright, not sure who he was, played for Crystal Palace. Thierry Henry, played for Monaco and Juventus. Shouts out your fuckers, you know that. Shouts out to all the ones. I gotta get out here. Luis Boamorte, Portuguese, Arsenal. You're a bastard, Yuri. I love you so much. You know that. What was I trying to say? Guys, please subscribe to the channel. Shouts out to all the real ones, the silent listeners. Thanks for having me on, bro. Bro, absolutely anytime. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, my final thoughts out the window, guys. Arsenal moving slowly. I think we've been quickened up, whether it's bullshit or fake news or whatever about Chelsea coming in for Mudryk. This will liven us up. Mudryk has done what he could to get the deal done. It really is just over to fucking Arsenal to get it done. Does Arsenal want it badly enough? Guys, peace out. Please hit the likes on the video. John Curtis. Not a browser. Who's John Curtis? I don't know. And before you hit me with more, I'm going to get out of it. Peace out to the UE, Lundbergkamp, Hazard, everyone in the chat. You're all real ones. Please hit the likes on the video. Roll down. Fucking author. Bro, my phone is ringing out of control. People are going to be cussing me. I've got to go. Listen, it's Tottenham next. We've got to get our house back in order. Tottenham have hit form. They look good tonight. Kane is scoring goals. What a bastard. I reckon Song, Kluevski, everyone. Phil Babb, Liverpool left back. They'll all be back for the Tottenham Arsenal game. But that's just my thought. Peace out, guys. Please hit the likes on the video. Do be subscribing. If we is new, Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Do be liking the videos. Do be subscribing if you're new. And hit me up anytime. Anyone who wants to come on the show, real ones, do let me know. Guys, have a peaceful night. Happy New Year. Picking up all the fake pics on Twitter. Peter Shilton, England goalkeeper. Which club did he play for? Derby, Forest, God knows. Way before my time. God knows. England goalkeeper. But yeah, get the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. I'm out of here. Real ones. Real Fox. You've done it before. Tottenham, Norwich, winger. But be or Gridgewich, Coventry goalkeeper. Bruv, you're good, you know. You know that. You can go on for days, innit? Guys, get the likes on the video. I'm out the building. Respect. Love to you all, innit? Good night, yo.